Aha. This one, Stan. How's it going, guys? Good to see you. Just finishing off the last little bits. Can you guys hear me properly? How's it going there, Pete? Good to see you, mate. We're nearly there. Loud and clear, that's what we like to hear. Brilliant. Thanks very much for letting me know about that, guys. So, clear night. A little bit of a chance for a short live stream, I thought. So, yeah, let's spend a few hours together. Chill out, have some fun, take some deep sky pics. And that's the plan. That's it. As simple as you like. So, I'm going to go ahead and get my Hyperstar rig set up first. We're continuing what we were doing in the last stream, as I do need more data on the target we were going after, which was M81, M82 on this one. So I'll just work through getting set up on that. Just catching up with chat a bit. Loud and clear, brilliant. Stan, how's it going? Ram, nice to see you, mate. Josh, brilliant. Steve Raleigh, thanks for answering my question on another thread. What scope do you think is the best suited for the Minicam 8 mono? Ah, yes. Hey, no problem at all, mate. Hey, how's it going, Daniel? And if you want to know that sort of question, Steve, it's a very valid question. What's your budget? What's your goals? I'd say that's the first two questions we need to ask you kind of back, and then we could probably give you recommendations from there. Not just me as well. I'm sure other people in chat, plenty of experience, will be able to chime in and help us out. I'm just going through getting everything connected up. Let's go. I tell you what, I almost forgot to roll the roof off my observatory. Just before this, I put the the stream starting screen on. I thought, hang on, my roof's still on. Wide field, the best you think. SQA 55, probably, mate. To be honest, if that's in your budget, because that scope can grow with whatever sensor you're going to use at any point, and it'll give you really crisp, sharp results with those small pixels on that 585 as well. Right now, kind of thing. So that would be my recommendation if that's within your price range. A ASCAR SQA 55. Right, we did have a sequence. I'm certain. Once we're done with this, I'll properly catch up with chat and we'll get going. Is anybody else out imaging tonight? Are you having a session as well, or is it just us lucky northerners? M81, M82, spot on. Autofocus on start, and after every degree. Looks good, it's reset, and we're just getting started, aren't we? Look at that. Spot on. Alright, now that one's underway, I will whoosh, drag my my other one on, and we'll get set up on that. We're going Ron Burrows, good to see you. Lasse, how's it going? Pete agreeing there on the SQA 55, yeah. To be honest, Steve, I think it's a heck of a good scope, it's likely one of those scopes I think now that is so good that now I own one, I really see it being a struggle to get a better scope at that sort of focal length. I really, really do. What am I shooting? Andy asks. So I'm going for M81, M82 on my Hyperstar rig, the Edge HD11. I'm going for M81, M82 on, I mean, you won't be able to see, but this thing, the 2600 Air that we've got set up. So we've got that running as well, and an 80mm refractor to try and do a comparison in the future between, like a big scope, little scope, fast, slow, etc. I know they're always skewed, but I think they're fun, and perhaps can be in their own right interesting little views into whether you should spend a bunch of extra money or if you don't need to. And on this second rig, my SQA55 rig, I've got this hooked up with a full frame, a one-shot colour camera, and a dual narrowband filter, and we're going after, once again, the same target we did the last live stream. I want a little bit more data on it. I'll probably call it after tonight, kind of thing. And that is the Cone Nebula, Rosette Nebula region, all in one. It's a pretty interesting framing. You should see that popping up in just a moment. Right, set off the cooling, no filter wheel. We do have a focuser. Obviously, we have a mount. Sorry, I'm just checklisting this out loud. Can I hear the mount? Yes, I can. Get the guide set up. And now, minimize that. Get my sequencer going. Rosette and cone. Yeah, I'll get proper caught up with you all in chat in just a moment. Nice to see you here, Danny. Hey, I saw your submission for the Horsehead Challenge, which admittedly makes me realise I should really check the hashtags before making a video like that, as like when you search hashtag Horsehead Challenge on Instagram, just there is actually a ton of literally horse heads. So but yeah, it's a nice shot that you've taken there, Danny. Rainy just processing, says Lasse. Sorry to hear it, mate, but some practice processing, it's good as anything, isn't it? Right, looks like our first image is just popping in on there, so it's plate solving and auto-focusing. Lovely. Now, is this set up properly? It's reset. Slew to center, start guiding. Yes. All looks grand. Let's hit go on that thing. I'm just gonna keep paying attention for 2 moments, as I think a couple of minutes spent here making sure everything gets off on the right foot is time well spent, generally speaking, you know what I mean? Let's see how this autofocus looks. We'll look at a few of these little stars down here, just visually. Make sure it seems accurate. I'll tell you what, I have had no complaints though, really, with the Oasis focuser. That's that I've still got here for like long-term review. Very good. That's what I'm using on this rig right here, the Hyperstar. Richard Judge. Hey all, anyone else get their first clear skies in months? Yeah, well, I mean, we had one a few weeks back, I think, here, Richard. And then the last clear night I had, thankfully it wasn't that good, was spent testing out this thing, the TubeTech Astro Station. And yeah, let's just say I'm glad it wasn't a perfect crystal clear night, you know what I mean? Let's see. I'll drag the chat panel on. What am I doing? There we go. Let's just open this up a touch. Right. Sorry about this, guys. I'm not very good at this live streaming business. Both scopes out here as well. Monkeyhead and Seagull. Very nice, mate. We're fog every night for weeks. Oh, that's rough, dude. Is it just like, is it always like that for you every year, Josh? Or is it just an exceptionally bad start to a year for you? Skychat says it's supposed to be clear, says Stan. The radar says something else. Yeah. Rain at Starfront. Oh, okay. Yeah, I imagine that is very rare, actually. Yeah, it looks so dry out there, don't it? Ram, Abraham. Also go with the Sharp Star 621 EDPH3. I have it and it's amazing with the 0.75 reducer. It gets you 270mm, and there's a 1x flattener that gets you 360. So yeah, there is. That's another option. I haven't tested it myself. I've seen other people's images with them, and they do look good. But I will say I think the SQA55 is got to be unbeatable sharpness. It's just, it's so crystal clear good. It really is. Shockingly, it's clear here, says Pete, but the transparency isn't very good. So no imaging tonight for you. Me, don't blame you, Pete. Yeah, sometimes it's just hardly worth setting up in it if it's like that. Looking at the Pleiades 61, that's fair, Steve. Yeah. I don't know if you've seen it, by the way, Steve, going back to what you were asking about the wide field thing. My friend Nico Carver from Nebula Photos on YouTube there has done a huge like group test comparison just recently, testing all the wide field refractors out basically. And yeah, I think it's well worth a watch, to be honest. If you are going to be dropping some cash on a big purchase like that, then I imagine like the hour spent or so, you'd be hard pressed to find a better way to spend the hour, really. Really good video, and tells a tale of its own, I think. Got to test my S30 for a few hours on Andromeda. Brilliant, mate. I recently just tested S30 again after the update that added like the noise reduction auto stretching kind of feature, because when I first got it, didn't initially have that, and now they've added it, so yeah, pretty pleased. They also sent me through one of the like carry cases for it too. So when I first like did my review of that and unboxed it, it didn't come with a case, but they finally got them out and sent one through. Pretty good. Rob, how's it going? Seven Skies Astro. Hey my friend, how's it going, mate? Wish I was staying on myself, but my knee won't allow me at the minute. Oh, sorry to hear that, mate. Hope all is well with the baby and Chloe. Yes, all is well, mate. All is well. We're happy as Larry. Thanks very much for asking. Sean, good to see you. Always nice to have you here. Rosine, how's it going? I think this is the earliest I've been here. Just got myself all set up also. Brilliant, Ros. If you still here, buddy, what are you running tonight? Are you got anything particularly planned, or is it a secret, perhaps? Mick, evening, Luke. Hope all is great. Yes, it is indeed, Mick. Thanks very much for asking, mate. We're doing super. Hope you're well too. I'll just drag this off the screen for one moment so I don't lose it. Okay. Looks like we're up and running on this thing. Everything looks pretty darn good in the corners. No complaints. Guiding's working well. Excellent. We'll just move this to one side now because it's ultimately not that interesting to look at, is it, that thing? So we'll drag this one across. That can be our new main screen, as this should look considerably prettier, I'll be honest with you. Oh, crikey. Would you look at that? Sean, thanks so much for that, mate. $20 coming in hot. Love the streams, Luke. Smash the like button. Mate, that's really kind of you. Thank you so much for that, Sean. I really, really appreciate it, buddy. I seriously, seriously do. And yeah, if you do like the streams, guys, a little click on the like button. Costs you nothing, but it does actually help out. As daft as that sounds, it does help. It's all signals towards YouTube and their algorithm that says, yeah, this content's all right. That kind of thing. Okay, looks like we're finishing focusing hopefully soon on this. We're creating a V-curve. I'll leave this visible for you guys on the screen. I always do this, by the way. Accidentally close down my chat panel. Pull that back. Right. A lot of horsehead out there. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, Danny. I couldn't believe it. Last night, I had a few friends around and I had a good time. Then when I finally got in bed, I thought, right, I'll check and see what people have been submitting to that horsehead challenge. And man, it is a sea of literally horses' heads. Fortunately, though, there's only about 100 images all in, and you can scroll through and still find people's images. But I just thought that was funny. A bit of a silly mistake I made there, but you know. Let's see. Need to watch that Astro Station video. I saw the announcement at IAS last year, and it looked interesting. It does look interesting, Ruz. Yeah, can't agree more, mate. To be honest, I think it's a device that's got potential, but it's really not ready for release. Do you know what I mean? I would say not even close. Sure, it works for some people right now, but man, all the gear that I tested it with just felt like a bit of a frustrating exercise. You know what I mean? I've probably burned all my bridges now with Tube Tech, I imagine. I hope not, but what else can I do? They were a nightmare to use, so that's what I've got to report. Always like this during winter. Oh, okay, Josh, so it's nothing like super out of the ordinary for you. Lots of rivers and lakes nearby. Got ya. Either it's ground fog or the higher stuff. Damn. On the upside, though, it sounds like it's probably pretty beautiful where you live if you're surrounded by rivers and lakes. Arnstein, how's it going, mate? Nice to see you. No clear skies here tonight. No. So I agree. Brilliant, Steve. So you've already seen Nico's video. That's spot on. Astrophotography. Hello there, mate. Good to see you. Michael Leave. Just finished building a DIY harmonic mount designed by another YouTuber. That's superb, mate. Can't wait to test it out when the cloud's clear. Might do some videos about DIY stuff for Astro. Insane what's possible since I last uploaded. Sorry, by the way, some people might wonder, why do I read everything out? And I realise that not everybody's always just looking at the screen. You've probably got me on a second monitor, or maybe no screen on at all, just to listen to that kind of thing. So I do like to read everything out for those people as well. I know that, like, sometimes when I'm watching, I have stuff on in the background, similar. So yeah. Astrophotography, not secret. Okay, ED80 and a 585MC on the tadpoles. Ooh, yes. Very, very nice. Got some vlog footage shot and the 70D on the Move Shoot Move Nomad to test as well. New telescope will be on the mount soon, though. Keep it a secret. Brilliant, mate. Yes. Looking forward to seeing your latest vlog, dude. For anybody in chat, by the way, who doesn't know, Astrophotography, got a wonderful YouTube channel of his own. He's actually one of the people whose videos, before I started YouTube, I used to watch Ruzz's videos, obviously still do. But yeah, watching Ruzz's videos were one of the things that made me think, you know what? I'm going to have a crack. Because it looked fun. You know what I mean? Yeah, thank you for the inspiration on that, Ruzz. It really does mean a lot, mate. Vishal Meena, rig details. Okay, mate. So, for anybody looking, this rig right here that we're looking at, shooting the rosette, you can just see it there on the framing exposure and a hint of the cone down there. This is a Ascar SQA 55 paired up with the Player One Zeus full frame one-shot color camera and a Player One Anti-Halo Pro dual band filter. So I think it's 3.5 nanometer hydrogen oxygen filter, and that's what we're running on this rig. That's probably what we're going to be mainly focusing on tonight. And the second rig just over here, make this a little bit bigger for you. So this is just gathering some data on M81, M82, Bode's Galaxy and the Cigar Galaxy, and we're doing that as like part of a future, because it's upcoming towards Galaxy season now, part of a future upcoming Galaxy season processing video that I'm hoping to record ahead of time. And also this day could be used as part of a comparison with the third rig that I've running tonight, which is the ASI air-powered FF80 rig with a 2600 MC on it. And that's what we're up to. Just move that off there a second. Get chat back visible. We were about to see this first exposure come in another minute and a half, so hopefully all is well. It looks like guiding's working fine, so shouldn't be any major issues. Get this chat panel a bit bigger. We're not really blocking anything important. Apparently I can't stretch from the bottom. Might do some videos about DIY stuff for Astro. Insane what's possible since I last uploaded. Brilliant. Yeah, anything like that, Michael, I think is really useful for folks. You know what I mean? I missed that first time round. Brody, nice to see you in another live stream, buddy. It's always a pleasure. Anthony Exmouth, can't wait for my TubeTech Bargain 585 mono bundle to arrive. 650 quid for camera, filter wheel, and a full set of filters. Good on you, mate. Yeah, looks like it's a good bit of kit, doesn't it? Queeve did a video just recently on that one. I've not actually seen that one yet. I am a little bit behind, unfortunately, on some folks' videos. But yeah, it looks like a good competitor to the Minicam from QHY, admittedly. TubeTech, we're talking about sending one of those over for review, but I expect that's probably not on the cards after the video I made about the Astro station there, the Astro Vita, rather. But it is what it is. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it looks like a good camera, mate. Ram is asking, you're in Bottle 7, Luke, right? I am indeed, buddy. Bottle 7 here. Have you tried some dark nebula from your location? Also in Ball 7, I'm 13 hours on LDN 1355, the helping hand, and still nowhere of it being nice. I have, yes. I've tried some, well, I don't know if you'd call it strictly dark nebula, but yes, I've tried some bits and bats, and it's challenging. Admittedly, I think very fast scopes make it less challenging. You know, like if I were going to go after some dark nebula in earnest and really make a solid attempt purposefully, it would be with the Hyperstar. That's what I'd choose to do it, just so I've got a chance from my location to get the maximum possible signal to noise ratio in the minimum possible time, because clear sky time is so limited here. But yes, mate, I'm well on board with you. It is a bloody challenge, and it from light blued skies. Lee, nice to see you, mate. Hi, Luke. Thanks to clear skies tonight. I've just resumed a multi-night imaging session of the Pleiades on my Vespera 2. It's a good smart scope. They do look good indeed, mate. Yeah, I'm glad to hear you're enjoying that. That's wonderful. Have you been very happy, with the image quality produced by that kind of rig? From what I've seen on other reviews, it does look, a nice bit of kit. It's more expensive, of course. Everybody knows that than the other stuff on the market, like the S50, S30, Dwarf 3, etc. But it does look pretty darn good. Ruz says it's hard to write a negative review. And hopefully TubeTech take it constructively and not burn bridges. Yeah, integrity is the most important thing, so kudos for a negative review. Thank you, mate. Yeah, I mean, that's my way of looking at it. I mean, it's just one thing. Look, if it came and it were great, fantastic. That's what I would have preferred strongly, because I've got ideas that I would have liked to have done with this thing, but it just wasn't. So yeah, there's no way I'm going to compromise my integrity. I hate putting it like that, but you know what I mean. I'm sure you know what I mean. And the trust that people have in me to give a honest review through my channel. You know what I mean? I feel like every time I'm making a video like that, any reviews and stuff, I feel the weight of responsibility on my shoulder, because I'm well aware that the things that I say, the things that I show on here might form part of a purchasing decision for someone. So ultimately, there could be someone spending their hard-earned cash partly on the strength of what I say. So, like I said, I feel a major responsibility to give honest reviews, because if I didn't, nobody's going to believe a word you say, and then what's your channel worth? You know what I mean? I think it'd just be ran into the ground at that point. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I know you're the same, mate. So yeah, congratulations, channel. Hi guys, how's it going, bud? Nice to see you on another live stream. Vishal Meena, thank you. I had a query about Player One Astronomy, the Zeus Mono. Okay, like a comparison with the ZBO full frame camera. Unfortunately, I don't have a ZBO full frame that I could compare with the Player One, but I will say that aside from structural differences in the mechanics of them, the tilt plates, etc., what I've found, at least in my experience, comparing one step down, the ASI 2600 versus the Player One Poseidon, so the same sort of sensor technology, if you like, the 533, 571, 455, is it? For full frame. When comparing those two, I found them to be, indistinguishable, really. The data that one produces versus the other, there's nothing in it. They're both, at the end of the day, an IMX 571, and that's the thing that really counts. So I imagine it's probably very much the same with the full frame 6200 versus, let's say, the Zeus. Just buy the one that you like the look of the most. Probably. Congratulations, Chancellor. There's clouds at the minute. Time for the stream. Brilliant, mate. Oh, excuse me. I stayed up a bit late last night. We had clear skies last night, and I could take the first pictures with the Dwarf 3. Fantastic, mate. Yeah. I really like the Dwarf 3. Really interesting little telescope. Hope you're enjoying it too after that first session. Aaron Freeman. Hi, Luke. Hello there, Aaron. Thanks for the honest opinion on the Astro Station. No problem at all, mate. Hopefully they can take it well and use it to improve the product. I think it'd been a great competitor for the ASI. I agree, mate. Yeah, I think it could end up being a good competitor. I do hope that for me, it's just like a one-off with the Wi-Fi thing being so weak. But, well, you obviously saw the video. So when I saw that there was a dongle included in the box, a Wi-Fi dongle, I thought to myself, do they already know that it's got a weak Wi-Fi? You know what I mean? So they've chose to bundle it with this. I don't know, but that's what it kind of seemed like to me. It was almost a clue in and of itself. But yeah, other people's reviews may reveal, hey, you know, I'm getting loads of Wi-Fi. I don't know. Can't say for sure, but yeah, I want what I experienced. Brody captured M51. Lovely. Whirlpool Galaxy. Last night we had Edge 8. Unfortunately, it came out monochrome, so I have to scrap the data. Other than that, it looks very nice. Has it just failed to debeta, Brody? You could potentially try one of your frames if you have them already. Do you have PixInsight per chance? And you could open up one of your subs in it and run the debaya script, I think it is. CFA debaya or something like that it's called. And give it a go. Maybe you can, you know, salvage that data. Odd though, that in it, that it's come out monochrome rather than already debayed. Typically they are, aren't they? Vishal says, we refers to the astronomy club. I'm part of a university. I'm planning to get a player on Zeus. Any review / advice? Yes, so I've got an older review, Vishal, of the Zeus. Overall, I've been using it for a fair while now, and I've got no complaints, to be honest with you. Well, I suppose I do have one small complaint, if you want. It's that it's only got one extra USB, so it's got a device USB on the back, which you're very likely ultimately going to use straight away, leaving no spare slots. So there's one to connect to the camera, that's its data port, and then there's one next to it, which is used for whatever you want, but on a mono camera, let's be honest, it's going to be used for a filter wheel. Something like the 6200, though, I think, from ZWO ASI, they have a couple of spare USBs if memory serves. So that could be more useful for you, but I don't really know. I do much prefer the body design, though, generally speaking, of the Player One cameras with the rear-facing tilt plate, at least on telescopes that I like to use. It's often the correct direction for a tilt plate. It makes the most sense, and makes getting any residual tilt out of a system, which is obviously it's a challenge. It can be a challenge with such a large sensor like a full frame. Makes it a lot easier. I found on the SQA right here that we're looking at, actually, when I first tested out this SQA, I noticed at that point that my Zeus tilt plate had at some point been knocked or whatever, or I hadn't locked it down tight enough, and I had slight elongations, defocus of stars on this left-hand side right here, so tracked it down, adjusted it. It took 5 minutes. Do you know what I mean? Due to that rear-facing tilt plate, I wasn't trying to reach around the front of the camera awkwardly or anything like that. But yeah, both are great. There's no wrong decision. That would be my advice on it. There really is no wrong decision on it. I'll try to catch up a little bit more on chat. Sorry about that, guys. Let's see. Hi from Lithuania. Much love. Hey, much love back, Lucas. Nice to have you here, mate. Hopefully you're getting some clear skies. I took a picture of M51 too last night, so you're stealing my photons. Oh, man. Oh, crikey, Brody using one of the channel member emotes. I really need to update those, actually. That's a blast from the past. I'm sure I've got some more images I could upload for those now. Divan V, currently trying to set up a 250p with a Nexus reducer. Interesting. Proven to be a bit of a handful due to the size of the scope, so opting to watch this instead. Fair enough, mate. Yeah, I can't blame you. Those Nexus reducers are interesting bits of kit. I'd love to test one of those out someday. On the 250p, does that have enough, like, sufficient in focus? Or is it going to be shortening the path a little bit? I imagine it's probably going to use just about all the in focus. At least that's how I'm imagining it. The reality might be different. Paul Stevenson, hi from Dark Clear Skies. How's it going, Paul? Good to see you in a stream, mate. Dark Clear Skies, that's the store, is it not, here in the UK? The astronomy vendor. Can't Congratulations, channel. Nico released the Apo comparison video in which he mentioned, in the last stream here. Ah, brilliant! Yeah, it's I saw it, mate. I managed to catch. I want to say about 40 minutes. I think it's like an hour-long video. As usual, YouTube notifications came a little bit late for me for some reason. It seems to be a running thing. But when I saw it, I was like, nice. Clicked it, watched it, enjoyed it. It was really nice to see actually just, another person on board with the SQA55, basically noting how good the blooming thing is, because it's a special scope, that one. Really happy I bought that. Trevor Sorrell, how's it going, Trev? I'm from Lincolnshire. Hello, good sir. Nice to have you here. Hopefully you're getting some clear skies. CCS, you're partly responsible for me buying an Edge 11. No regrets. It's a great scope. That's really lovely to hear, mate. They're a chunk of change, aren't they? Let's be fair. They're not a cheap scope by any stretch of the imagination, but they are bloody good. Yeah, I've been very, very happy with mine. I think the only thing that would pry that out of my hands would be a Edge 14, probably. And at that point, I'd likely still want to keep the 11 as well, because it's just been such a good scope. It's really proven itself to me. I did a video like a Hubble Bubble challenge with some data that I'd taken through that Edge 11 on the Bubble Nebula, and I thought to myself, crikey, this is... what could I hope for that's better than this? The quality of the data that it was producing was just astonishing, I thought. The only gripe I have, to be honest with you, about the Edge 11, the reducer, don't really like it that much. It's not horrendous, but I don't think it's worth 700 quid, which is what it costs over here in the UK. So yeah, that's my only gripe. I think it's a much better scope when used at f10 native. Nick P says, seems M51 was popular. I stole photons too. I'm surprised there were enough to go around. Was getting first light on a new to me RC8. I think I collimated it well, but the first time ever doing it, so I'm not sure. Well, as long as your stars looked all right, Nick, I'm sure you're fine. If you're new to Ritchie criterion collimation completely, by the way, Nick, at some point you are going to have to recollimate and things like that, or you may have to disassemble to clean. You may already know this, one small word of warning about RC scopes. The spacing between the surface of the secondary mirror and the surface of the primary mirror is absolutely critical to the correction on those scopes. It can throw out your end focal length by a long way, some like a factor of 10 or 15 from whatever change that distance is as well. So if you got the secondary mirror even a millimeter closer to your primary mirror on reassembly after a full clean or something like that, your correction would be off, regardless of collimation state, and also your focal length would be thrown out too. So why I'm saying that is, if you do ever take it apart to clean it, get some good calipers, like digital calipers like this. Screen for you. Just trying to be helpful, not trying to teach you how to suck eggs if you already know. Measure the distance between the spider that holds the secondary mirror and the back face of that secondary mirror. And then you can reset it perfectly after cleaning and have no worries. You can also set it by plate solving too, mate. That's another option. Random tangent. Well, there you go. It might save you some pain in the future. I found out the hard way, but ultimately did fix the issue. That's the way it goes. Let's see. Sean, how's it going again, Sean? Do you know if an Esprit 120 with a reducer would cover a full frame sensor? Ooh, Sean, that's a tough one, mate. I never got the chance to test my Esprit with a full frame sensor, but gut feeling is, if you're talking about the 077 times reducer, like Skywatcher cell matched for it, my gut feeling is probably not. It covered APS-C well, and I was happy with it at that, but I felt like I could see, the hints of aberrations creeping in at the absolute corners, so it's only going to get worse from that point out. But, you know what I mean, they could have improved the reducer design in the time since I tested mine, by the way, because I bought one like as soon as it became available, and sometimes that can sting you, can't it? Damien K. How's it going, Damien? Nice to see you, mate. My mate Damien there, he has a fantastic channel as well, using some absolutely colossal Dobsonian telescopes. I'm definitely not jealous. I am jealous. I'd love a big Dob someday, Damien. They're always such fun scopes. Congratulations, channel. M51 was pretty high in the sky and clouds came from the west, so I should pretty low. M42 to M51. Nice. For more context, says Vishal, we want to use the Zeus with the CPC-11 and Deluxe HD. Have plans to do astrophotography and some astronomy experiments, photometry and spectroscopy. Brilliant. Yeah, I think it'd be paired up wonderful with the Edge HD, especially when used without the reducer. Natively, like I say, the scope's just altogether better corrected when used without a reducer. That would be my method of using it. And given that you're using the mono version as well, or at least planning to, you could always utilize binning to get your sampling ratio back to a more manageable amount. Something like bin 2, bin 3 would be very, very usable. But yeah, it'll pair wonderfully with an Edge HD11. They cover a full frame sensor, really well illuminated and very, very well corrected, given that your collimation is on point. Congratulations, channel. On the way home, there was heavy fog in the creek valleys. Good job, our observatory sits higher on a hill in a village. Naff. Naff, is that right? What film is that from now? Is it Simon Pegg and Nick Frost? I'm thinking. And crikey, what's it called? You'll have to let me know. It's going to bug me now. Is that? Trying to remember where I've heard Naff. Let's just see. I'd like an Edge 14, but I'm too old to lift it. I think I'm too old to lift it, mate. They look absolutely huge. I missed a couple chats there, sorry. Brody was trying out a new technique, trying to bin with the DSLR. Okay, as you're oversampled with the Edge HD 8, but I guess it didn't work. Okay, got you, yeah. Sometimes binning does indeed on a color camera. It's possible with like 2600s and things like that to bin and retain the color, but on a DSLR, I imagine you probably have to just accept that it's going to be lost as part of the binning. Johnny Bravo, nice to see you in another live stream, buddy. Always a pleasure. Lucas Vanagas, tomorrow I'll get clear sky. Is a Horsehead Nebula a good target for an unmodded DSLR? Yes, it is, mate. To be honest, it's nice and bright, beautiful target. There's loads to capture with a unmodded DSLR in there. It was one of my first targets, to be honest. Yeah, right after the Orion Nebula. Went after the Horsehead. Really, can't knock you at all, mate. Horsehead quite easy. Yeah, it's I don't want to say easy, because there is a very challenging star in there, as you may find out, depending on what telescope you're using. Alnitak is in the field of view between the Horsehead and Flame right there. It's a bright one, so it can be a bit of a challenge. So we've had a bit of a random guide pulse there. Let's just try to address what's going on. Sometimes PhD selects stars which are a little too low signal to noise ratio for my liking, to be honest with you. I'd rather have a star that's very slightly saturated or very close to it. Seems to make guiding a bit more robust, in my experience. Could just be me though, a quirk of my system. I don't know. Brody says, Luke, do you have a problem with star flares when a bright star is just off the frame on your Edge 11? When I was doing M109 for my stream, excuse me, I have a problem with that with my Edge 8. Not something I've experienced, I would say, Brody. No. Trying to think what could be causing it now. I think you mentioned just before you were using it with the DSLR. So is there any chance you're seeing some kind of diffraction effect from the aperture of the mirror box? Given that they're very square, aren't they? Like everything inside a telescope, generally speaking, all the way down to where the light hits the sensor is circles. So you get no straight edge diffraction, which can cause spiking and artifacts, oddness like that. But if you look inside a DSLR with the mirror flipped up, It's a pretty boxy environment, so if there was any off-axis light coming in, hitting the sensor, having first been occluded by that, then yeah, you could be getting a bit of diffraction effects maybe there, mate. I don't know, but maybe someone with a Edge HD who's currently in use might be able to offer some better advice on that one. I did have a Edge HD a while back, a good while back, actually. Really enjoyed it, but I didn't have anything like that I can remember. Right before I started my channel, actually, is when I had it. I'll just try and catch up a little bit. Trevor Sorrell, clear skies down here, grabbing data on LBN 954 with Skywatcher 72 ED on the GTI Adventurer. 5-minute subs. Nice one, mate. Good job. Digital photography really gives astrophotography a boost compared to photographic film. In those times, the horse head was difficult. Yeah, I can imagine, mate. I mean, everything was difficult back then, weren't it? I was, as far as I know, like people used to manually guide by looking through an attached scope with a reticle and having to do it by hand. Unbelievable stuff. Dumpy Dalek, how's it going, Titch? Evening, Luke. I hope you and Chloe and family are well. We're all doing very well, mate. Thank you very much indeed for asking. Yep, getting on wonderful. Nick P, thank you very much. I was definitely not aware it was too good of a deal to pass up, and I wanted a longer focal length to my Red Cat 61. Really appreciate the advance. No problem at all, Nick. Yeah, no problem at all. It could be worth then if it was picked up used. I'm not saying like go crazy and tinker with it, but if you get the opportunity to see what the focal length of a plate solved image is on one of those RC8s, I believe it's, I want to say around about 1800 mil, 1860 or something like that. I know the RC6s I think were 1360 or something when they were just about perfect. But yeah, just find out what they're supposed to be in spec, and then you'll know if it's like spacing is out at all already. That could be a clue for future stuff the next time you need to make adjustments. But if everything's working, don't touch it. That's also my my best advice. Pete says the Esprit scope's really aren't that great at full frame. One of the reasons I switched to the Stellar Mirror 90 ED. Okay. Yeah, I never got the chance to test mine, Pete, with the full frame camera. It was the timeline just didn't line up. But yeah, as far as I understand, I think they're okay with just the flattener though, for full frame, but not the reducer, most likely. Simon, how's it going, Simon? Nice to see you in the chat, buddy. Hey, Luke, glad to see you've got some clear skies, mate. I'm glad and all, to be honest. Yeah, it's been a bit of a it's been a bit of a poor season, hasn't it? Let's call a spade a spade. It really has. Let's see. Abuk, hi from Poland. I recently bought a Zenithstar 61 Model 2 OTA and I'm having problems with the stars. They're big and have a strange shape. Is there any way to fix it? Big and have a strange shape. That's an odd one. Is your spacing correct for a star? As the Zenithstar requires a corrector to work at its best, as far as I remember. I think it needs a field flattener screwing onto the back. So if, assuming that you've got that, maybe that's a big assumption to make. I don't know. But assuming you've got that, I think generally speaking, it's a 55mm spacing from the back facing edge, not the end of the threads, the back facing edge of the reducer to the focal plane of your sensor. So that'd be the first thing to check, probably for me, mate, is your spacing correct? Sean Maston, talking to Pete, sorry, jumping in on your conversations there. I'm only jealous of clear skies, not the Astro equipment, as our club is an observatory with nice equipment. Lovely. How was your video that put me onto Stellar Mirrors? Pete says to Rose, that's brilliant. Jared, how's it going, Jared? Hi from California. I'm definitely jealous of your Californian weather. Good to see the live stream up. Blinking through subs of IC443, the Jellyfish Nebula. At the moment, it feels like I should take a look at M51 tonight. Oh, mate, I agree, yeah. Why not? It's be a nice change of pace from shooting a faint old nebula target like the Jellyfish, jumping over to a nice bright galaxy. Good plan. Hot Fuzz, that's it, Mark. Yes. What's his name now? Rory McCann, that's it, who plays the the guy who's a bit tapped. Do you know what I mean? Oh, God, I'm glad you told me that, Mark. That were going to bug me all night. Just replaced my CEM 120, says CCS, with a Warp Atron WD20. 0 backlash. Very impressed so far. Good to hear that, mate. Yeah. Is that one of the alternative, like, harmonic mounts then? Johnny Bravo Narf is from the cartoon Animaniacs. Pinky and the Brain. Oh my God, I remember that from when I was a kid. We're going to try and take over the world. Crikey. Yeah, I think it was in that as well, wasn't it? Peter Baldwin says, "Hey Luke, how's it going, Peter? Trying M78 here while there's a bit of a clearing. Good on you, mate. Nice target. I want to get a go at it. To be honest, I'm just wondering if I'm a bit too late in season to capture it now. Seems like it could be, you know what I mean? Yap, Halfweek. Lots of rain here in the Netherlands, so being busy shooting darks. Nice. Sorry if I've got your name wrong there, mate. Source code question. On a Newtonian, is the secondary mirror supposed to be center mass with the primary when collimating? When looking from the back on a fast Newtonian, which is typically all you'll see these days, generally they're all pretty fast, unless you're using a PL, so like a planetary Newtonian, you are going to see what looks to be a decentered secondary mirror very slightly when looking down on it, typically speaking, because they do have a larger offset secondary mirror to capture more of the light cone, as the lowest part of the primary mirror, the part closest to the primary, naturally has to intercept a larger portion of that light cone that's being reflected up from the primary, so it can look a little bit lobed off to one side, but yeah, it's not something I'd worry about desperately much. It's more the view from the actual focused draw tube that I would be concerned with. It should look circular underneath that, even with an offset secondary mirror. So that's what I'd go for. Hopefully that answers that for you, source code. Alexander Dimage. Hi Luke. Hello there, Alexander. Just swapped from my S50 to the Ascar 71F ASI 2600 MC Pro. Whoops. Pro Air and an AM3. What a difference in quality. Impressive. I know different price range. Absolutely, mate. Yeah. But it's so much better. Great video as always. Thank you very much, Alexander. And congratulations, mate, on that big old upgrade. That's fantastic. If you haven't sold it though, I'm sure you'll still find uses for your S50. They're a versatile little telescope, I think. Good stuff. Tom Digon. Greetings from Las Vegas. How's it going, Tom? I tried imaging Thor's helmet only to find out that it's in the flight path of the local airport. Oh no. Well, I guess you've only got to wait a few hours and then it should be out of the flight path with any luck. Holy guiding spikes, Batman. Yeah, I think it's must have gone a little bit crazy there for a minute, mate. We'll see what it's like after the flip. See if it picks up nicely again. Rosine says, one trick people sometimes do is defocus the guide scope so the star is a little bigger, so the full width half max is a bit more for guiding to pick up on. Yeah, it can, if you've got really undersampled guide scope setup, your stars can look very pixelated, and it can be hard for software like PhD to calculate a centroid when it's got less pixels to actually calculate a centroid from, so it's got less spatial accuracy. Whereas if you did, defocus the star, let's say in a situation like that, you would make the star's mass spread out over more pixels, giving it more samples from which to calculate a predicted centroid location. That's as far as I understand it, but I'm trying to think now. It could be an issue on this. Most of the guide scopes I use now, though, are 250mm. The Skywatcher Evo guides, and they're pretty well sampled in most cases. Been enjoying using those. Good tip, though, Rosine. Thank you for sharing that one, mate. Needs a harmonic mount too. Always the money problem with new rigs. Hey, astrophotography is so expensive, isn't it? I don't think I've spent anything like at any point that's been cheap in this game. It's always just been absolutely disgustingly expensive, generally speaking. Oops. Like we're having a little bit of thin cloud passing through potentially. Just looking at my ASI Air rig right there. One moment. I just have to quickly solve that. My bad. I'll be with you in one moment, guys. Sorry. Let's see. So good to have a Saturday dark clear skies and some quality viewing. Thank you, Paul. Hopefully the quality viewing will resume momentarily, mate. I'm just as usual putting out fires, you know what I mean, dealing with the stuff that's going on here. Back on plan mode. Let's kick things off once again over there. Get rid of those. Lovely. Right, we're back underway. I can get caught back up with you guys again. We can probably, by the way, as well, just while we have a minute, so this is finishing off its autofocus. I'll just move the chat panel 1 sec and open up Sharpcap. Run that. We can use folder monitor Livestacking. Folder monitor camera. Hey, that's new, by the way. ASI 2600 and 220 Air showing up through ASI camera Alpaca now, just over the wireless network. Huh. I wonder if that's something in the latest, like, Sharpcap. I've not noticed that before. I wonder if that's the way then that you can connect up the 2600 Air, which typically has like no use for PC stuff, as it's all just done via the Air itself, and use it on a PC. I don't know. Be good to know though. Now then, browse. Let's find the correct folder. This thing can be a bit laggy to open up, unfortunately. I'll get back on with catching up with chat, as we're not doing too bad of a job tonight of sort of keeping up with it. We are a few minutes behind, but not as bad as usual. Here we are, the 22nd of the 2nd. We've got a few frames there that we can select. And if we click Live Stack, should probably be okay to run without much filtering sort of thing. Just hit play and let's take a look at what a couple of frames look like once it's stacked up. So we should have 5 to stack up, 25 minutes all in. We can keep an eye on things that way. Let's just see. Where were we now? I've lost where I was. Classic. What camera are you using, says Pope Astro? So this one you're viewing right here, mate, is the Player One Zeus, full frame, one-shot color camera paired with a dual narrowband filter. We're going after the Rosette Nebula and the Cone Nebula region and trying to get some of the faint interconnecting stuff between those. Have you tried the new Uranus M yet? IMX585 mono. I have not, Paul. No, I certainly have not. Interesting cameras though. Those 585 monos, basically in any flavor that you like. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's a Sony IMX585, which is the key thing. And yeah, really, really impressed by the one that I have tried. The the QHY Minicam 8. Yeah, just incredibly sensitive camera, and I can't believe the price that some of these rigs are coming in at as well. I'd have killed for the opportunity back when I was starting out to have a mono setup in that sort of price range, brand new, because everything I kicked off with obviously had to be bought used, and in some cases bloody well used. My first ever mono camera was a Attic 314L Plus, with an ancient quantum filter wheel and some equally ancient Bada filters. And I thought it were the best thing since sliced bread, do you know what I mean? Because I had nothing to refer against. That was what I had, and it made me happy at the time. And it was affordable, most importantly. But for less than I paid for that rig back then, used, when it was already long in the tooth, you could get one of these fantastic new 585s, brand new now with a set of filters and things. Much better than the ones that I used. So it's a good time to be into astrophotography, I would say. It really, really is. Let's see. Who on here will be going to the Practical Astronomy Show next month? I'm afraid I shall not be. Just be a bit too much to do with the young boy, you know, our Felix. Potentially next year, though, mate. I hope anybody who is going to have a good time, though. Iron Man Astro, hello from Canada. Hello to you too, sir. Nice to have you here. Hopefully you're having some clear skies, mate. And what on earth just popped up? Bloody hell. Source code with $100 donation. My word, sir. That is incredible, mate. Thank you so much for that support. That is mind-blowing. It really is above and beyond. Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It means so much to me, mate. It really, really does. Holy smokes, says Brody. Holy smokes, I agree, Brody. I agree. Blimey. Thank you, mate. That's, yeah, hand on that. Thank you. And that goes out to all you guys, by the way. I know just hitting like on the stream, it helps me out. It all does. But yeah, when someone's just doing something like that, it's exceptional, innit? It really is. So, yeah, thank you. I will try to catch up with chat. That's thrown me completely off. In a good way, in the best way possible. That's so kind. Let's see. Here we are. Last night I slept with my rig imaging. Brave, Brody. I haven't been able to do that yet. Yeah, the most stressful night of my life. Good evening, brother. Evening, Josh. How's it going, mate? Nice to see you here. And thanks again for coming round last night and chilling out. That were really, really nice to spend some time. I'm using a Carbon Star 150, just making sure as everything else seems good, but it was something I noticed. Brilliant, mate, yeah. So, like I said, as long as it looks good through the draw tube, if it's circular there, perfect. Don't worry about it, yeah. It's spot on. Nice scopes. I hope you're having some good luck with it. Still no clear skies since November the 8th, says Iron Man. That's a rough one, blimey. Ram Abraham, I want to try Astro with my wildlife lens, Sony 200 to 600 f/6.6.3. So it's one of the L lenses by the looks of it. I see there. They are good lenses, those. Is it focused by wire? Is there a way to make it work with my 533 MCP? Some adapter with power to make it work. Good question, mate. I'm trying to think now. You're probably going to have to use some form of adapter anyway. Whether you could get one that would interface with your lens and offer you like a USB port or something to connect it via, but equally, is there even going to be any lens control drivers available? I don't know. I think you'd probably be better off, you know, just focusing by hand on that though, if possible. Are we saying it is focused by a wire? Sorry, I misread you there. Is there a way to make it work with my 533 MCP? Probably not though. If there's no external focus control, I think it's going to be a tough one to tackle that. Sorry about misreading initially there on that one. Warp Astron is direct drive harmonic mount with a high load capacity. Much easier to lift than my former CEM 120. I can imagine, mate, yeah. It never ceases to amaze me when I'm carrying out something like the ZWO AM5, which I assume is a very comparable weight and size compared to what I used to do when I used to carry my only big mount out, which was the Skywatcher EQ6N at the time, which weighed more than the whole rig on its own. And the fact, you know, you can use these pretty comfortably as long as your rig's not going to overbalance, generally speaking, without a counterweight too, just makes it even more portable. It's fantastic technology we have access to now. Won't get much time on it, but never actually seen it with my gear, so it's just a test. Oh, thank you very much for joining there. I think I recognise your icon. Is that James Cloudman? It is James Cloudman. How did I recognise you from your icon there, James? Welcome aboard, mate. And thank you again, by the way, Source Code, for that incredibly kind donation. And we had another wonderfully kind one as well, Sean Maston up there as well. You're all very, very kind indeed, guys, and it is appreciated. I hope you know. I'll try to catch up just a touch more with chat. I hope that it's helpful having it on screen. I know it might seem a little bit disjointed that I have to look away from you to read it. Typically I'd be reading it over in this direction here, but I hope that, you know, when someone's watching it back, I have had issues in the past with like, you know, the video on demands that get uploaded after the fact on YouTube, where the live chat just goes. I don't really know why, so this is hopefully a way to get around that. Do you know what I mean? And you can see exactly where I am on chat as well and what I'm reading. That's my reasoning. Your Pixie Inside tutorials are great, by the way. They helped me quite a bit. That really is good to hear, mate. Again, Source Code. It's lovely to hear. They take a little bit of doing. Not anything desperate. Do you know what I mean? It's not horrendous, but the main factor for me when making these tutorials is I kind of lose a little bit of confidence in myself with them, because I'm thinking there's people out there that know so much more about Pixie Insight than me. What right have I to be making a tutorial? But it is what it is, isn't it? You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they seem to be helping folks, and I know that I would have really appreciated that kind of approach early on, just speaking personally about it. And oh crikey, someone's gifted some memberships as well. Casey, blimey, thank you so much for that, Casey. 10 gifted memberships. Welcome aboard, all the new members. Crikey, is Felix off using his C-Star S30? He's not, mate. No, he's currently in the house with Chloe. I imagine, I hope, asleep at the minute. He can get himself a little bit overtired if he stays awake too long now, but he's at the point where he's paying attention to absolutely everything, so he's completely wired when he is awake. It's funny. Yeah, thank you so much, by the way, for the memberships. That really is kind, Casey. Desperately appreciate it, mate. I really, really do. Welcome aboard once again. We're getting there. We're getting there. Oh, Milkman. Greeting, Luke. Greetings, mate. How's it going? Hope you're doing well. We are indeed. Hopefully I haven't missed much. Just shooting this, mate, and chatting with people, you know what I mean? Chatting with you guys. It's good. I think to me, this is what a live stream's all about. That bit of interaction between, you know, us and then people in the chat too, helping one another out. It's really good to see. Let me just see now. Just start shooting the Seagull Nebula. Should get a couple of hours. It's quite low. That is a low one, Simon. That is a low one, mate. I'd love to shoot it sometime. I've got friends in the Southern Hemisphere who sometimes tease me with images of that, because it rises quite well for those guys. That's the issue. So basically I need to focus with my Sony camera, then attach it to the 533. I just don't think that'll work, Ram. Even if you get something that on paper ensures 55mm back focus, let's say, like a traditional SLR. I know it'll be different, the actual back focus distance for your Sony camera, but just for sake of explanation, the 55 thing. The likelihood is that your Sony sensor is going to be mounted very slightly at a different plane than your 533 sensor. It seems almost tacked on that it would be the case, as there is a little bit of leeway in the body of how these sensors are mounted in the cameras. So I think some variance is probably going to happen, which would throw it off ultimately. That's my gut feeling on it, Ram. Unfortunately, I just don't see it working. But it can't hurt to try. Maybe it would work out better. I certainly don't know everything. That's for darn sure. So there's no harm in trying, I suppose. But yeah. Don't know a product name for the Sony as a several and need to decide if you want his 2-inch filters or not. That's good of you to help him out, mate. That's nice. Recently bought such a thing for a Canon. I have heard of the Canon lens adapters, yeah. Is the reducer... Oh, there is a reducer available for the ASCAR 71F. I haven't tried it yet, but I reckon that it will work properly. Replaying up there. Awesome. People are liking those 71Fs for sure. Glad to see your guiding is variable, as mine is 0.4, RMS 1 minute, and then above an arc second, RMS 20 minutes later. It's like that sometimes, mate, innit? Yeah, we can check in and see... Hang on, someone else just gifted memberships as well. Oh, crikey, Paul Stevenson as well, 20 gifted memberships. Crikey, mate. Thank you so much for that. And again, welcome aboard, everybody watching. See a heck of a lot of names here, blimey. Yeah, welcome aboard, guys, and thank you again. All of you guys for the support that you give. It's absolutely astronomical, if you'll excuse the terrible dad joke pun. I do have my dad card now, though, so I can make these jokes and not get arrested. But yeah, it's unbelievable support. All jokes aside, it really is, and I hope you know that it is. It really is truly appreciated. So thank you very much indeed. It means a lot. Let's just quickly check. By the way, one moment before I catch up fully on chat there. I just want to see. It looks like guiding has largely settled now. We'll try to view the biggest view we can. So there's a little bit of a spike there, and on the 400 view on PhD 400 samples. But on the whole, not too bad, and certainly not too bad for this extremely wide field of view that we're looking at, with not too critical of a sampling ratio either. But it seems to once again have picked a star where I wouldn't even agree that that's the centroid. Do you know what I mean? I'd think that where my mouse is more likely the center. So it's something's off. Not sure I like that. Looks weird again there, but hopefully it's a bit more robust for it to choose. We'll try to choose a bright star and see what it does there, if it evens out those little spikes we're occasionally seeing. Let's pop up the live stack once again. We can take a little look closer in, I'd say, as well. So now we're currently looking at 35 minutes. This is just 7 5-minute frames stacked from that SQA55 in the top right corner region of this framing, and that's the rosette. Looking pretty damn good, I have to say already, just for a live stacked image. We've got hints of all sorts of nebulosity popping up down the bottom around here, and sure enough, there's the cone and the fox fur up there. Yeah, happy, very happy. Love this telescope. Really cracking bit of kit, that. And also, just right there, there's, I think, what's called Hubble's Variable Nebula. Right there. And this is an interesting target because with a long enough focal length telescope and a long enough period between observations, you can actually see changes in the tail of this. It almost looks a bit like a cometary tail. It's not. It is a nebula, but there are like sheets and changes in the shadow and distribution of that object over a human lifespan, well within a human lifespan observable period. So I noticed someone took, I do believe, an APOD image at one point of observations multiple years apart, so like a decade between them, and made a GIF of it, and it showed actual changes in that structure, which was pretty, incredible to see. That's if memory's serving anyway. If memory's serving me, I'm sure that was about right. Let's just crack on a little bit. Finally a clear night in the UK. Born the Rosette. Lovely, mate. Glad to hear that, Alan. Hope you guys are doing well, by the way. 5.5 is a really good sensor. Been impressed by it. Well, that's awesome to hear that, Rosine. It's another person saying it's cracking, you know what I mean? Once again, holy smokes. I think Brody said it all there. That is incredible support, mate. Thank you. Should be thanking you actually. No, man, it's honestly, it's just so far above and beyond. It really, really is. Plan on being at PAS. Awesome. Ruz will be there. The GOAT. Absolutely. Greatest of all time. Might see you there, Rose. Brilliant stuff. Hi from Southern California, says Dan. Dan Nephew. Nice to see you, Dan. I think it might be the first time I've seen you in a live stream, actually, if I'm not mistaken. So welcome aboard, mate. Taking frames of the Rosette last night. Good stuff. May the force be with you, says Cosmic Ray. Oh, man. 5x5, really good. Been well impressed with mine. So you've got one as well, Titch. Yeah, they are bloody cracking sensors. Did not even know that I got emojis. Let's see. Just trying to catch up a little bit. Going up together. Brilliant stuff. Using your C11 and 1600, says Dan, for that rosette shot you mentioned. Awesome. The 1600, you know, I had one of those and really, really liked that camera. It punched above its price tag, certainly. Philip Wright says, an actual clear night. I hope you've put on the lotto, pal. I haven't, mate, no. Should have done though, shouldn't I? It's been a bit of a lucky one. Kind of wish we would have gone with the AM5. The AM3 isn't really that much smaller or portable. I understand. Yeah, mate. It's a tough one because I can see the appeal of the AM3. You know, if you're trying to make a rig specifically below a weight limit, let's say you wanted something you could really travel with on a plane, even using carry-on luggage, you know, like, 10 kilogram or something you're allowed, then yeah, I can absolutely see where it might just be invaluable to make any sort of meaningful weight savings that you could. But yeah, if you're using it mainly at home, I can absolutely see an argument for AM5s over AM3s, but equally the AM3s are, let's not lose sight of the fact that it is a cracking little amount, you know what I mean? And can hold an enormous amount given its size. Muizar. Good evening, mate. Picked up a Dwarf 3. Amazing what the little smart telescopes can do nowadays. It really is, mate, isn't it? I'm very glad you've picked one up and enjoyed it. That's fantastic to hear. Welcome again, by the way, all the new members. Sammy, hello there, mate. Can you start as a pain? Sorry, replying to Muizar there. Know what you mean about your own confidence when making a tutorial. Yes, mate, that's it. It's I know that I can navigate my way from start to finish through an image and get a result that I am happy with. But, you know, sometimes like when you're trying to make a tutorial or something like that, I don't know. You just end up second guessing yourself a little bit. I think it's common. It's probably very common indeed that you end up with something like at least akin to, what is it called? Imposter syndrome, that sort of thing. But yeah, I guess I've only to go read some comments and it makes me go, oh, okay, these are helping people. I should be a little bit more confident about them, ultimately. Yeah. Let's just see. Oh, Richard's Astrophotography. How's it going, Richard? Set up in the garden down here in Gloucestershire. The FRA 300, nice scope. On the Jellyfish Nebula in mono. VX12 going for the Horsehead for the last time this year. Crikey, what you got that VX12 mounted on, mate? It must be a bloody big mount. So managed to catch the live stream. Good stuff. Hope you're having a good session, mate. Are you still planning on making accessories for the S30, says Casey? I am indeed, Casey, yeah. I think I've got one on my desk here, actually. Prototyped a bunch of different types of bind-off masks for the S30. Ended up having to just go for a simple insert mask, do you know what I mean? Like I made for the S50, ultimately, as I would have liked. Got one of my other prototypes as well. I would have liked to do something like this, utilising the inbuilt magnets on the S30, but it seems that inside the C-Star S30, the magnets that they've placed have been placed without any respect to their polarity. So in my case, let's say I made this with inserts, so I could glue neodymium magnets in and hopefully have it hold on the end. I'd have to glue one in north facing in, one in north facing out. You know what I mean? So they're just popped in, I guess, because what they tend to use is steel inserts, a bit like a washer kind of thing. But I couldn't find any reasonable way to support source those and get them into a print. So yeah, I've ended up going for push fit designs. I looked at making potentially a sorry, I've popped the screen off. I looked at potentially making a dew shield thing as well, as a few people asked about those, but I will say the internal design of the C-Star S30 is better than the S50 in terms of blocking stray light. If you look down the end, you can see there's ringed baffles all the way down, kind of thing. So it does a really good job anyway of blocking stray light, which probably makes the usefulness of something like a dew shield diminished, as you are going to inevitably eat into some of your already reasonably limited aperture, aren't you, given that it's just 30mm. But yeah, that's where I was at with that case. See, the only other thing I could think about perhaps making would be some kind of filter holder. But again, it's a small aperture, given it's 30mm, and it would probably reduce it down to, I imagine, about 26 in order to be safe and make an insert that worked for everybody. Which is a bit of a reduction, isn't it? You know what I mean? But then at least people could use external filters on it. Thank you for the question. And thank you again, by the way, for the memberships. Very, very kind of you. Gideon Sanders. Luke, how's it going, Gideon? Good evening, mate. Good evening to you too, mate. Very nice of you to join in. It's apparent that you have the gift of helping others learn, says Source Code. That's very kind of you to say, mate. Your tutorials are very easy to follow. I always look for yours before any others as they flow well. Oh, mate, that is really, really kind of you to say. It does mean a lot, yeah. Like we were just talking about, I'll go like during the recording and stuff, kind of doubting myself a little bit, right up until I hit go live on the video. But then when I read something incredibly kind, like you've just said there, then you know that they've helped you. Well, it's a confidence boost. You know what I mean? If ever I needed one, it is. Thank you, mate. Thank you, Sammy. Hello there. Hello there, mate. Nice to see you. Let's see. Got a lot of new faces, I think, popping up in chat tonight. It's very nice of you guys to join in. I've no idea how the stream is performing. I'll be honest. Where are we at even on YouTube? I sometimes get a bit of a bug. Here we are. It's opened up. Yeah, 99 viewers right now. That's good. Yeah, it's cracking, guys. Thank you very much indeed for joining in. It's very much a pleasure to spend my evening with you and just enjoy each other's company. You know what I mean? It's nice chatting away. Let's see. Could finally make the first image with my dwarf free, but several modes were not choosable in the app, like equatorial mode. Interesting, mate. Had you... Let me try and think now. Had you maybe just updated it recently and not restarted the dwarf and the app? Perhaps that could be one thing, a conflict between what the app thinks should be available versus what is currently available on the dwarf. I don't know, just firing an idea out there, but that seems like it could maybe be a thing. Thank you again, Paul, by the way. Thank you to everyone, again, once again. I really mean it. Whoops. Oh, crikey. I've got some catching up to do. I'll try and rip through some a little bit. Would the 585 be a good replacement for the 183, says Gideon? Or would it be better off and go directly for 2600 or equivalent? Well, I would put this to you, Gideon. If you think the 585 sensor size is, you know, comfortable for you, sufficient for what you want to shoot, then I think the 585 sensor is every bit as good, really, as the 2600 sensor. It's just that the 2600 is so much bigger. Do you know what I mean? So if you tried to price these things up on a amount of sensor area per, you know, pound or dollar spent or whatever, potentially the 2600 is better value, depending on what you're going for. But if you're working to a budget and you have no dramas really about the size of the sensor, the 585 it really is a capable sensor, mate. It's a very, very capable sensor. But that's just my perspective. I have directly used them both, so I feel like I'm confident in saying that. You know what I mean? I really do think the 585 mono is as good as a 2600 mono. It's just the two different things, really, in terms of size. What ball level are your skies there? Asks source code. They are a low 7 these days, mate. I think they used to be about a mid 7, but we switched to LED lighting in the area, which is by itself is bad. But it was so much better shielded that the amount of light hitting the atmosphere has gone down notably, I would say. Even visually, I can see a difference between what it used to be like versus just lately. So yeah, it's gone down a bit. We're still, I would say 7 though, but probably on the low end. Doing good, says Milkman. Nice to hear it, mate. Just haven't been out this month. Too damn cold and snowy. Yeah, that's fair enough, mate. There's no point, you know, trying to just grin and bear it if it's not fun for you when it's like that. I don't think there's many people it is fun for when it's that kind of conditions. What would be recommended? Asks Trevor Sorrell, as an upgrade to the Skywatcher 72 ED with your IMX585 camera. Ooh, hard question. I owned a 72 ED a long time back, and I really liked that telescope. It's not perfect, as it is a doublet, but it ain't bad. It really ain't bad. So I think the question I'd have to ask to try and guide you in the right direction, if at all I could, Trevor, would be... what are you wanting to actually do that your 72 can't do? So are you hoping to go wider field of view or punch in further and go after, let's say, galaxy targets? That kind of thing. We can probably go from there if you give us a rough indication of budget. And also if you add any special, you know, usage cases or needs for it. So, you know, you don't want something that's too heavy or too bulky, ideally not user collimatable, etc. Or if you're comfortable with collimation. Sorry for bombarding you with questions. It's just I'd like to try and give best advice I can. And if you answer that kind of thing as well, I'm sure other people in chat would have options for you too. Let's just see. Just mentioning, yeah, app is up to date and firmware and scope is up to date. Yes, probably that could be it. Evening, Luke. Love to all the family. Thank you very much, mate. That's really, really kind of you. Love to all you guys too. Why not? Spaceman22. Love Luke Matiko's content. Says Shooter McGavin. Thank you, mate. I'm just Shooter McGavin. Where's that from now? Is that Happy Gilmore? I think it's Happy Gilmore. I'm ever so sorry if your name is actually Shooter McGavin, though. If it is, that's an epic name. This looks pretty complicated. I'm spoiled by ASI Air. I tell you what, mate. From my perspective, there's nothing wrong with ASI Air. I really bloody like them. I was very much hoping that the Astro Station were going to be more akin to the ASI Air than it was. But yeah, to be honest, I think if I were left to my own devices kind of thing, I'd probably still be using ASI Air just as like my main rig predominantly. But it'd be just about impossible, I reckon, to do. Oh, excuse me, guys. You know, live streams, that kind of thing. With that sort of rig. At least that's my thinking on it. Any Galaxy tonight? Asks Sammy. Indeed, mate. We are shooting a Galaxy target. I'll just drag it into view. Oh, and it's auto-focusing. But yes, I'll show you in a moment, Sammy. We're shooting M81, M82 on the Hyperstar rig. It's going well. It's just not that visually interesting to look at, I don't think. So I've opted to show us our progress on this target instead, which we're doing all right on so far. Let's just see. Are you in your observatory's warm room now? Says Gideon. I am indeed, mate. Yep. Wow. I clearly should have got more sleep. I was up having a good old time last night with a few friends who we had round. Let's just see. Does Livestacking provide good enough results to use /save? I wouldn't say so, mate, no, on its own. I like the output of, let's say, planetary live stacking. That's another feature that's in Sharpcap up there. That's a different thing, though. As it is this, no. I think it's just a good way to monitor what's going on in your image and have some vague way to interpret just how far along your data is at any given point as well. So that's where I reckon this is useful for kind of monitoring and getting a feel of where you're at with the amount of integration that you currently have. But yeah, it's not bad. Don't get me wrong, it's not bad, but it can't really compete with traditional after the fact stacking methods, such as you might employ in, for me, it's AstroPixel Processor. That's where I do all my stacking. Or weighted batch pre-processing in PixInsight. That's another really popular option. Like I say, it's good, but I think you are better off stacking in a dedicated stacking program, because then you get access to more robust rejection as well. Even though this doesn't do a too bad job. I'll tell you what, I will go off on a mini tangent here and elaborate just a slight little bit further for anybody interested. I think there is a really convincing use case for live stacking, something I've tried a few times and I want to revisit, and that's making stacks of stacks by having the initial legwork done by making substacks inside Sharpcap. So what I mean by that is, let's say if you were doing lucky imaging and you were taking 10-second exposures or something like that, you're going to have an enormous amount of files to deal with on your hard drive at the end of the night. Probably going to basically not really be possible to deal with for most people. So what I would instead do is let Sharpcap Pro live stack those 10-second subs into, let's say, groups of 30, you know what I mean, and get a 5-minute exposure, if you like, automatically save and clear and restart a fresh stack. And then you're dealing with stacks that are made up of very short exposures, giving you all those benefits, but much fewer of them. You know what I mean? By a factor of 30 in that example. So I think that's a good case where you could use live stacking in conjunction then by stacking those masters afterwards in another program. But I've gone off on a little bit of a classic Luke tangent there. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's not bad. Just there is better. Nugsy, how's it going, mate? Hello everybody. Hello Luke. Nice to see you here, mate. As always. Just to look, Lens AF on Nina only supports Canon. Man. I'm trying to think now, Peter. There was another option for lens autofocus in, crikey, what's it called? Astrophotography tool. You know, I met the people who made Astrophotography tool. Lovely couple. They really were. I had opportunity to actually, you know, meet them, shake their hands, etc. in person at an Astro show one year. Yeah, I really should revisit it actually and have a look. It's just I feel like from the channel's perspective, almost be shooting myself in the foot a little bit, trying to get familiarized in something that's not used as much as Nina, for example. Where I think of where I'd be best off spending my time and effort in learning so I can pass on what I learn through tutorials and this kind of thing, just where we're chatting, is probably best spent where people are spending the most time. You know what I mean? Another little tangent, sorry. All good, thanks Luke. Be good if you and Rose did a collab or a joint live stream. Can you imagine, mate? We'll get a podcast on the go. Oh man. Let me try and get myself a little bit more comfortable in this chair. It's alright for a while, but then it becomes a little bit like a torture device, to be honest, after a bit. But yeah, mate, I don't know. I'm very much like a solo flyer most of the time, but yeah, I'm probably down for collabs at some point in the future. Let's see. Just want to check. Just went to check with the flattener. I think it was in the right setting, 12.9mm with the DSLR. I can send you a stacked, unedited, and edited photo, maybe. I'm doing something wrong in editing. I'm just trying to think now. 12.9mm with the DSLR. Depending on what DSLR you're using. If it's a Canon, I think a T-ring should be 11mm thick. So it could actually be still off a little bit there, but it's not significantly off, is it? So that might not be the problem. Trying to think what else it could be, mate, to be honest. Generally speaking, I don't mean to sound like tinfoil hat crazy, but I don't really like having files sent sometimes because, you know, if someone sent me a file from a compromised system, it could potentially cost me a lot of money. You know what I mean? My livelihood depends on being like virus free, effectively. I'm not saying you have a virus, but I just use it as a general rule of thumb. I try to not accept files like that too often. But if you uploaded them somewhere else, you know, like if you shared your images on Instagram or something, that might be a way I could identify them for you. Have you used the C-Star S30 at all? I have indeed, mate. Yes, I like it, and it's only gotten better as well since my initial review as well. Nice bit of kit. Nice bit of kit. AM3 is still pretty freaking heavy. Yeah, they're a weird thing. They're a very solid little device, but they are, I mean, ultimately they are quite small and light compared to what we used to use. You know what I mean? Great big German equatorial mounts with massive counterweights, etc. Buy one of Luke's nice buying of masks and do it manually. Thank you, mate. Yeah, if you do have, like I say, if you do have a focus barrel on there and you can focus it, and it's not just purely by wire, you know, like the lens needs to be powered to even operate the focusing mechanism, then yeah, buying of mass focusing, it's spot on. You know what I mean? You can't really go wrong with a diffraction focus kind of thing. My Astrophysics 900 is heavy. Oh man. Good evening, Anthony. Nice to see you. M3 is 3.9 kilos. I think they feel heavy for what size they are, perhaps. You know what I mean? But yeah, when compared to, like I say, to what we usually use, they are light. Pim, how's it going there, mate? Evening all. Adding some hours to my bodes and cigar pick. That does remind me, by the way, someone asked just earlier, are we shooting any galaxies tonight? And yes, we are. If I just show you, here's a sub-exposure. Again, like I say, they don't really look like much when you look them like this, but, you know, it's working. My very light Bluetooth skies are giving us something, and we should hopefully be able to work with this and get a nice image at the end. But I'm just leaving that one chugging away quietly in the background. While we're here, I'll just quickly check. My other rig is running comfortably. It's reselected another bloody star after the dither, hasn't it? Another faint one, but at least over the last period of 400 seems to be okay. I just can't remember what setting I need to change to stop it doing that. But yeah, regardless, it's working again. Individual sub-exposures don't look bad, at least not to me. And then the stacked image so far from tonight's data, 55 minutes. That's 11 5-minute subs, of course. If we just zoom in, we'll view it at 100%, eh? Why not? Look at these tiny little pinpoint stars, eh? Blimey, what a scope. Yeah, there we have it. The Rosette Nebula. It's a little bit big, that, isn't it? The Rosette Nebula looking glorious over there. And the Conan Foxfire. Nice. I will try to catch up a little bit further with chat now. Just use some ferrous wire in your prints. Could do, mate. I looked, you're referring to the C-Star S30 things, aren't you? I was looking actually at some iron-infused filament at one point, but it looks like it's going to be ridiculously hard on the system, do you know what I mean, to print, so I'll probably knacker my printers in, basically. Trying to run that through for any extended period of time. Like the nozzles and extruder on my printers are hardened, they're tough themselves, but all the rest of it is made of like PTFE tubing and plastic parts and things like that, and they wear even with like standard PETG. I like to use PETG a lot rather than just PLA these days. Yeah, they wear with that, which is not imbued with anything as hard, of course, but yeah, it's a good idea. Wide field of view makes me want to build a new setup. Oh no, I'm sorry about that, mate. These are expensive things, you know, to watch these live streams. I think it's the first time I've seen you in a live stream, by the way, as well. So, Groff Galleries Astro, welcome, mate. Nice to have you here. I recently got a Form 4 printer. If you ever want to collab and make something, let me know. Nice one, mate. Is that Form Labs? Is that? I'm just thinking. I currently use a group of 3 Bamboo Labs printers at the minute. I'm hoping they're going to release a newer like model soon. Ideally with a bigger print volume though. I'm currently using ones that are 250 by 250 print volume, and it's not bad, but I would like to make larger versions of, you know, these things here, the multi-Batinov mask that I make and sell. Ideally one of these that could spot up to, like, you know, 12 plus inch scopes would be nice. Plus could also get more kind of stock printed at one time on them. Orion, oops. You were just getting back to me about your Orion VX12 there, weren't you? I am 10 minutes behind, Anna. So sorry, mate. I'm gonna push through. We are gonna catch up now. This is gonna be like a Rocky training montage. We're just preparing for a scrap with somebody. That's what this is gonna be. I'm gonna try and catch up now with chat just a bit. VX12 is on an older EQ8, but it throws it around like a small scope. I can believe that, mate. Yeah, the EQ8 is an absolute bloody monster in it. I love mine. Regarding metal in your Batinov masks, how about just screwing a short screw into the finished mask so the magnets catch the flush screw heads? I really like the idea, actually, Nugsy. I do. It's a consideration. Yeah, it's a consideration. M3 does not weigh as much as my Star Adventure GTI as it needs a counterweight. This chair's killing me. At the same payload. That's an interesting point that you raised there, buddy. Yeah, traditional German equatorials, you have to factor in the extra weight you're going to need to carry with counterweights. Put a ring of steel wire instead of 2-inch filter S30 onto it just fine. Lovely. That's good to know, mate, then. So a piece of, you know, wire is enough mass, to capture enough of that magnetic field. Evening all from Cloudy Island, says Derry Murphy. Nice to have you here, buddy. Hopefully it won't be cloudy for too long, and you get some sessions under your belt. Pim asks, how far behind on the chat are you this time, Luke? A mile, mate. I'm so sorry. We are getting there. Come on, Luke. Got Rocky theme playing in my head now. Kenneth BA, good evening all. Greetings from Copenhagen. Good luck, Luke, on the 75-inch TV. Got Luke on the 75-inch TV. Crikey. I'm huge. And now on the Mac, so I can write hello. Brilliant stuff. I appreciate that, Kenneth. I hope you're enjoying the stream, mate. I really, really do. Wonder if your Clyke's data of NGC 2237 the whole time is visible. Yeah, basically. Once I finish the live stream or whatever tonight and go and be with the family, I will leave the scopes running as long as I can for the session. Just stay up with them and kind of look after them. Probably due a target swap though after I've finished tonight's data set, as I'll have probably about 8 hours on this thing, hopefully, all being well, or maybe a bit more. Which should be nice, you know what I mean? It's certainly enough for a tutorial that I'd hopefully want to get out of the way with this one. Carried my mount outside a few minutes ago, says Charlie Ford, looked up and clouds. Oh no, I've done that before, mate. I feel the pain. Changed the weather, it's supposed to be clear tonight. Hopefully it clears up for you, mate, and it's just a patch, eh? It seems like it's about time to get the old BB gun out. Been too bloody cloudy here to get out. Late tonight. Says Pim, gonna get a crappy 130 EQ out. Wow, I've put a Gemini focuser on it, a shorter focuser, so let's see what it's capable of. Good on you, mate. Enjoy that thing, why not? Too bad here, but next door, not too bad here, but next door have a big fire. Crikey. Ever tried Astroberry? I haven't. So no, I've never given it a go. Damien K says, love your work, mate. Very calm and chill video. Thank you very much indeed for that, mate. In the Fiji Islands with very poor internet. I will watch later. Hope Bob is doing well. Oh, thank you, Damien. Yeah, he's doing cracking, mate. And like I say again, by the way, guys, for anybody in chat who's not already aware, Damien's got a channel of his own, makes some cracking content, really centered around huge scopes. Simon there as well. Simon's got a channel. Pete's got a channel. Rosine in here, Astrophotography. It's another person with a channel that I'm aware of. I think Nugsy has a channel. There's a few of us actually in here who like to share what we do. So if you're looking for anything else to watch, there's some good shout outs for you there. Trevor Sorrell says, "Oh, all right, Derry, we're answering there. 72 ED is cracking scope, not tri-reflecting, not confident enough to collimate, but tempted." Yeah. It's one of those things, like if you feel like in the future you're going to want a collimatable scope because of, you know, you expect it's going to go that way, you're going to want a huge scope. Typically that means it's going to be a collimatable design. It could be best to just rip off the band-aid now and you know, dive in and get used to collimation. But I would absolutely say don't throw out your other rig in the meantime, because collimation can be a bit of a bear, to be honest with you, mate. It really, really can, until you become, you know, more comfortable with what you're seeing and interpreting what you're looking at, particularly if you're using visual collimation aids. It can be a little confusing. Let's see. I can see, says Kenneth, I can see it's been hard on you, Luke, with the new little one. You've lost a lot of air. I have, mate. Yeah, it's been rough. Oh, no, I just fancied a change. You know what I mean? I had it cut last week, and then I've actually had another cut now. Done a different one. I fancied another change because I got sick of having to wear like a ponytail at back. Galaxy would be the targets for the upcoming summer. Weight is the issue on the Adventurer GTI. Can't afford to upgrade both, unfortunately. Ooh, that's a tough one then, Trevor. That is a tough one. In terms of scopes, I could recommend then that would ride on a GTI, but allow you to capture some galaxies. I think the absolute upper limit might be a Skywatcher 130 PDS, but that's going to mean you need to buy a coma corrector to collimation tools if you don't have them, and then also, you know, become proficient with collimation. But that would get you, if memory serves, 650 mil of focal length, I think, something like that, which is a good chunk more than your 72 ED, which is about 430 mil or something like that, is it? You know, it would appear to be about doubled, just, you know, looking at it mentally. So that, you know, it's a good chunk more, and you can get some good detail with those scopes too. A lot of people love those things. Back on with the Rocky training montage. Let's catch up. Evening, Luke, says David Mann. Would you recommend the QHY CCD Mono 8? Oh, the mini Mono, mate. Yeah, I would. Absolutely love it. I'm coming from a CGX Raster 8, but need to downsize due to back issues. Absolutely understandable. Picked up the Juway 17 and plan on getting an SQA 55. David. Yes. Absolutely, mate. It'd be a hell of a setup, that. I've already paired the mini Mono. I keep looking at it because it's up there, but the mini Mono 8 from QHY on the SQA 55, and I found it was an absolute dream combination, because that little SQA 55 is so sharp. You can make the most of those small pixels on the mini Mono 585. So yeah, I think it's a good combination, mate. At least for me, as far as I'm concerned. No pains. Source code, so you can use Livestacking at the same time. Makes sense. Yes, mate. That's I know what we're talking about now. Yeah. Got to sort the rig out. Hopefully catch you all later. It's Simon. Hopefully you have a good session there, Simon. Thanks very much for joining in. If you catch this at some point, if you catch up. Livestacking in Nina is pretty cool. Not tried it yet, Pim, still, unfortunately. You can split the channels, stretch them individually, same as in Sharpcap. Very nice. Peter Baldwin's just switched to M81 at 1200mm, just before you mentioned your imaging it. Nice one. Yeah, lovely target, mate. Can be a reasonably challenging target as well, I'd say. M81. Let's see, Derry Murphy, replying to Nugsy there. Nick P, which would you rate higher or prefer to give up? Okay, ASI Air or Player One cameras. My rig is all ASI ZWO. But I'm really wanting to add a Player One camera, maybe try a mono, but that means Nina. Oh, man, that's a tough question. It's like asking whether I want to lose an arm or a leg. Do you know what I mean? Oh, it's tough, mate. I don't know. If you feel like you want a change, there's nothing wrong with that, because you've got to do whatever your mind's telling you to do effectively, within reason, in order to keep things fresh and enjoyable for yourself. But if you've had tons and tons of good sessions with the ASI Air, it would seem maybe not the best to just turn your back on it entirely. That's my gut feeling on it, mate. But there's no real soft way to change over, is there, from an ASI Air system? It's either, everything that works with ASI Air, or you have to get a mini PC and go that route. There's always going to be growing pains, I think. I can't really answer, mate, to be honest. It's a bloody tough one. I would, if you really wanted to try a mono, I can say this, maybe wait a bit, because I can honestly, I don't know anything, by the way, I'm not privy to any information, but I can't see how ZWO are going to let like QHY with the Minicam 8 and TubeTech with their version, etc., start stealing their lunch from underneath them. You know what I mean? They've got to release a camera, I would have thought, that combats those things. So like a mini mono rig that would naturally support the ASI Air as well. So might be worth hanging on a little bit, mate, and just if you haven't got too much of a fire lit underneath you requiring change, see how things play out. Makes sense to like pre-stacking. Interesting. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about, mate. Like a pre-stack, and then you stack the stacks afterwards. Big fan of APT as a DSLR user. Awesome. If I had an Astro cam, I'd probably have gone for Nina. Yeah, it seems to be what most people do at the end. I was telling Ram about the lens AF. Got you, Pete. Yeah. Nina works well with DSLRs. Wow. Crikey. Milkman. I've just noticed. Sorry about that, mate. It's took me ages to notice. 10 gifted memberships. Thank you ever so much for that, Milkman. You've been a major supporter of my channel for a long time now, mate, and I do appreciate it. I really, really do. Welcome aboard, all the new members, and thank you again to 11 Milkman. Really kind of you, buddy. Really, really is. 15 minutes behind now. It's the tangents that do it. It is a little bit, isn't it, mate? We are catching up, though. I'm sure we're catching up. Unless you guys are like just toying with me and just typing stuff now to make sure I never catch up. Ben McLaren, good to see you again in another stream, Ben. Always a pleasure to have you here, buddy. I've edited photos on Instagram. Awesome, mate. If you tag me in them, I'll be able to see them. I do intend to look at it someday. Replying to Pim. Got you. DSLRs work with Nina. Alan Howell. How's it going, Alan? Looking to set up for a live stream tonight as well. Awesome. A bit under the weather, though, so I hope to find the energy. Oh, man, I'll tell you, you're not the only one. Don't feel sorry for me, though. It's completely my own doing. I had a few friends over last night. We had a few beverages, and I don't usually drink, so I'm feeling a little bit flat today. But yeah, it was a good time anyway, but it's left me a little bit knackered, for want of a better word. What scope are you using here? Says source code. So this is the SQA55, mate, by Askar, paired up with that full frame Player One's use, and a dual narrowband filter. So it's all one-shot color. It's a pretty convincing setup, I would say. I've been very, very pleased with it indeed. Really have. If my dad wants to do a live astronomy from his bed, is the Dwarf 3 the best option? My dad has health issues. Oh, sorry to hear that your dad's got health issues there. I would say it's a very good option. If you're willing to help him get set up, if that's what you're referring to, the Dwarf is pretty easy to set up. If you're looking for even easier to set up though, than the Dwarf, potentially the C Star might be like an easier option, because you can pretty much just plonk those down without having to know where north is and things like that. If you were going to use the dwarf to its fullest, it will at least require you to have a tripod that you can tilt to point towards, you know, the North Celestial Pole. It does talk you through all this, so you know, if you're not, you know, up on astronomy, it will talk you through that, and after a brief period of familiarization, I'm sure you'd be able to get your dad up and running once again with astronomy. But yeah, the dwarf is a good option. Maybe the C Star S50 or S30 is potentially an easier option if you're having to do some of the initial setup work for him and you're not yourself yet confident with it. So that would be my basic advice. I think all three would make him likely have a lot of fun though. He'll say hi in about 20 minutes. Yes, mate, I'm so sorry. I've probably missed something, I realise. Pete again, how's it going, Pete? It's I didn't realise you were still here, buddy, to be honest. You've been here since the start. You can actually just create an internal insert, stop the print halfway, add the magnets, continue printing. You could indeed, yes. I looked at doing that. Again, it was just a case of sourcing suitable inserts. I was trying to find all sorts of stuff, you know, like looking on, we have a hardware store in UK called Screwfix. Trying to find washers that might be suitable, that kind of thing. But yeah, it all just seemed, none of them were really ideal. I didn't mind Nugs' idea though, up ahead, of perhaps getting some decent screws with some mass to them. Because of course you can't just use a tiny piece of metal, as it won't, you know, the magnetic field from the C Star won't have enough effect on it really to do anything. So it's going to have to be a decent hunk of metal to really stick on those magnets hard. But yeah, if I could get some decent size inserts, that might be an option. But yeah, we're getting there. Cannons later than 70 don't work. Okay. Formlabs, got ya. Usually use FDM, but have some other endeavors with SLA. Fair enough, mate. Yeah, I tell you what, I tried some resin printers in past. Detail's fantastic on them, innit? But the cleanup was just such a mess. And I don't find SLA that dimensionally accurate. The ones that I printed, do you know what I mean? They look amazing, but if you like get calipers out and measure them versus like a calibration cube or whatever, I found that they weren't that accurate. But FDM's mega accurate, you know what I mean? At least it is with the bamboos and stuff, and I'm sure with your Formlabs too, which was most important to me, of course. That was like the highest priority thing, is being able to repeatedly make parts that I know that I can ship across the planet or whatever, and they're going to fit someone's rig when it arrives, sort of thing. It's asked me at 15 minutes behind, sorry. Asked me to try and address everyone in chat though. Never seen someone go to that extent. Oh, I'm sorry. It does put me behind it a lot, mate, I realise. But on the flip side, I hope that it makes people feel like if they do write something and they want something answering or whatever, they could feel free to type it, knowing that I'm hopefully not going to miss it, and I will get to you. It just probably take a minute. Sometimes a bit more than a minute, let's be honest. Denebian. Hi Luke, everyone. How's it going, mate? Just ordered a Kiddie Plus 4 printer. Okay, nice one. Nice build volume and a heated chamber. Can't wait to print some mildly exotic filaments for my astro needs. Very nice. Very, very nice. You're probably already aware of this. But it's not a tangent, but I just, you know, I want to let you be aware ahead of time, Denebian. If you are fresh to printing, read up on the filament you're going to print first. If you're printing something like ABS, etc., they give off pretty nasty fumes. So you're going to want some real good ventilation if you're going to do that kind of thing. Probably ideally in a room that you never habit as well, because it puts particulate in the air, which then settles on things which you're going to re-disturb whenever you start moving around. Ultimately, it's a bit of a minefield. But yeah, and watch out if you're going to print carbon fiber as well. That gets stuck in your skin until your skin sloughs it off. It's ridiculous stuff, is that carbon filament. But yeah, good on you, mate. Have a good crack. Enjoy yourself. They'll be here in about 20 minutes. What details is the mean ADU for M81? We just quickly find out for you, mate. The mean in the absolute core is 28,000 in the very brightest part, mate, on that M81. I've just moused over and found out for you on the next screen. Still need to get 3D printing at home as well, says Josh. Studied mechanical engineering, use it daily at work, but never for myself. Oh, mate. Let's just see. Can he put it outside on his own? Basically same question I asked actually there as well, with the mention to the WLAN, the wireless connectivity. Dwarf 3 does not reach very far. Mine reaches about as far, I would say, as the S30 or S50, in my experience. But yeah, it's certainly a consideration. If he's like wherever he is at the opposite side of the house or something, that could cause problems, unless you're going to connect to your home network in what's called station mode inside the app. Excuse me, I've got hiccups now. I'm just completely malfunctioning as a human being today. Everything's gone wrong. Wet the old whistle there. Hey, look, mate, hope all is well. How's it going, mate? Nice to see you. Hope all is well on night number 5 on the jellyfish. That's cracking, Ben. I hope you're having a good session. My mate Ben's also got a channel. Lovely content there. Lovely chap. He couldn't hope to meet a nicer fella. Ben McLaren, hope to get 2 new SV Bonnie 8TD scopes set up soon. Ooh, you're going like a side-by-side thing. A bino scope rig. That'd be really cool, mate. Needs a larger free field of view for the automatic orientation. That's a good point. Yeah, I'd not actually mentioned that. That's a good point, that, buddy. If you are using it, yeah, in equatorial mode particularly, it does need a decent field of view. So if you have a lot of, what we both mean by that is if you have a lot of local obstructions in your garden where you're hoping to set it up above, I don't know, 8 feet high or something like that, if you're placing it quite low, it could be an issue. But if you're putting it on a decent sized tripod, it should be fine. Got an image tonight, but -11 is going to be rough. Oof. I'm Nugsy, if you're wondering. Yeah, sorry, mate. I keep calling you Nugsy. People reading chat might not know what I'm talking about. It's Cheap Astro. Let's just see. Added your channel to my Discord server, so I got a warning when you go live. That's awesome. What other channels will share their live sessions? Trying to think now. I mean, my mate Queep sometimes goes live. Astro Bloke sometimes goes live. That's who I know of, basically. Other people, it's very few and far between, you know what I mean? I try to go live whenever it seems, feasible to get a few hours spending time with you. But yeah, appreciate that, mate. Ian Barker, how's it going, Ian? Evening, Luke. Another great live stream, thank you. Just doing a live stack on M101 in Sharpcap, but with a small problem. Little green zigzag lines. Sounds like you're having correlating noise there, mate, from Hot Pixels. If you're not already using it, then your stacking type, you want to change it down there. You can see where I'm just mousing Sigma clipping, change to that. If you can, that'll probably help after enough frames have been averaged out. And also dither aggressively, if at all you can as well. That should help even things out. Usually if you're getting lines, like of hot pixels, it means that you're seeing what would traditionally be called like walking noise, raining noise, and it's just correlating noise patterns from drift in your mount, likely due to not guiding or not dithering. Hopefully some of that word salad I've just thrown towards you is helpful, mate. But yeah, good on you, Ian. Have a good session, mate. Congratulations, channel says, last time when it was cold and I had electrical power, I put an electric heating underneath my jacket. That's fair enough, mate. Thank you again, by the way, Milkman. Thank you to everybody, by the way, who's been so kind tonight. It's incredible. A +1 there from the recommendation on the 130 PDS. Yeah, I think that's good. Whoops. Hang on. How far off are we now, guys? Just a rough guess. Ooh, we're catching up. I'm catching you, I think. Any suggestions for printing shops who do quality prints? I have 12 hours of data on M81 to print, says Derry Murphy. Oh, crikey. I've had some luck, Derry, with Photobox before. I printed a gift for actually someone who were in chat just earlier, his daughter, my friend, this last Christmas of the M31 Andromeda. And I didn't edit it further, you know, in anticipation for sending off to a print shop. They actually did a pretty good job. As long as your image has got well-adjusted black levels, etc., and it's not like clipped, it should print well. So yeah, Photobox, that's my vote right now. So hopefully that's useful to you. It can be a bloody expensive job though, can printing out your Astro prints, can't it? Seems to have the same. Sorry. Is it me, or do the 75 to 300mm Canon lenses seem to have soft focus on anything other than a Canon camera? Could there be some like correction going on inside your camera? I know that a lot of Canons have what's it called, like not just the lens correction profiles that they add, but also like a sharpening profile that you can set yourself. So maybe that's sharpening the results up artificially a little bit over what the lens is usually capable of. But there is one way you can sharpen those lenses, and that's taking them, if it's the one I'm thinking of, like the plastic body 75-300, just stop down the aperture a little bit, basically, mate. From being wide open, I think they're natively f5.6, if memory serves. If you shut them down to like f7.1, it should sharpen up a good bit, but of course it's going to be slower. Burm. An opportunity to say thank you for your videos. Oh, that's very kind of you, mate. And those of you, mate, Quave, brilliant. Been on the learning curve of UK astrophotography for the last 9 months or so. And they're very helpful. Well, that's lovely to say, mate. I'm very glad they've been useful to you. It's nice of you to take a moment to say thanks like that. Cheers. Aaron Mohammed, I'm so scared of getting trapped into an ecosystem, and that's why I haven't got the ASI Air yet. I hear you, mate. There's, I suppose there's 2 ways to look at it, really. If you don't mind buying ASI gear, then don't feel trapped, because you're not. You know what I mean? If you wanted to buy ASI gear anyway, why not use an ASI Air if it's going to offer everything that you want to do? Typically speaking, which it would for me. You know what I mean? And I'm years and years and years into the job. Love it and super enthusiastic about it, but I don't feel held back whenever I use an ASI Air. So that's one way of looking at it. The other way of looking at it is you're quite right. You are limited to using ASI only equipment, basically. So if you're the kind of person who wants to try out different brands, things like that, then yeah, don't get one. It's not the device for you. But the upside of it being a closed system at the minute is it's pretty darn reliable. Do you know what I mean? How bad of an idea, asks Mike Myers, groovy, baby, would a Racer 8 be on an AM3 with a counterweight? Mate, it's hard to say. I think the AM3 could handle the load. I do. Would I trust it on like the TC40 tripod or something though? I don't know. Maybe not. Tough to say. I think it could handle the weight though, basically, because I don't reckon the Racer 8s are actually that heavy of a scope overall. I mean, larger frame digital prints, by the way, not the small ones. Yeah. So back to what we were on about with Photobox, where Derry were asking there. Yeah, I think they can do pretty huge prints these days, but they're expensive. You know what I mean? We are catching up. You're very welcome, Luke. Thank you, Milkman. Thank you again, mate. What's the name of that QHY device that is going to compete with the ASI Air? What's it called now? That's a good question as well. I wish I knew the blooming answer. Someone left a comment on my video the other day asking about that QHY one. Crikey. What's it called? It's gone out of my head. Maybe someone else knows in chat for you there, buddy, but yeah. Does look interesting, but I've not really heard anything about it. Whenever QHY has been in contact about, do you want to check out this or this, etc. Never a mention, to be honest. They told people about it, I think, a year ago or something like that, and since then I've not heard out. Me, at least. Anyway, I don't know if anybody else has. think you're back to 10 minutes now. We're catching up. Let's go. Go with a Melee mini PC. Yeah, it's a solid recommendation. I mean, if you're comfortable using PC-based software, then you're never going to be more free than you are with that, effectively. But you know that freedom comes with also comes with its own cost of it. It can be an arse getting stuff set up sometimes. You know what I mean? I was wondering why it's so sharp. Looks very nice. Let's see. Yes, mate. Oh, you were talking about the SQA55, weren't you? Sorry about that. Yeah, it's honestly, I keep plugging this thing like I'm being paid to do it. I ain't. You know what I mean? I've not made a dime from that thing. It's just a beautiful scope, and I want to recommend it to people because I know they're going to buy it and be happy. It's a cracking thing. Look, Matiko, if you were quick with the chat, we wouldn't get these nuggets of info you have to share. Don't change. Well, thank you for the perspective there, mate. I appreciate that. I have a Melee PC on my Edge 11, perfect for Nina. Refractor as an ASIA, both very good. That's a good take, really, Rob, to be honest. I mean, if you could set yourself up where you've got both, then you really have got the best of both worlds, haven't you? Mike says, that's Stan, agree with recommendations. Just think about the speed of the internal drive and memory upgrades. Yeah, true. Bigger cameras. Crikey, yeah. Full frame cameras slow everything down, though. Like if you're using an ASIA with the full frame at 6200, you're going to be, sat on your hands a little bit waiting for frames to come in. Just the same as you are, really, with mini PCs. Agree on the C-Star, yeah. Great live streaming, Luke. Thank you. Within the viewfinder, learn something new each time. That's lovely to hear. That really, really is. Thank you, mate. Nothing is easier than the C-Star for the quality outputs. Yeah, solid agree. To be honest, mate. It's mad. It's like if I, for some reason, needed it, I could have like Chloe just carry that C-Star outside, and I could do everything else myself with it. Without really any worry about where has it been put down, etc. Is it facing north? It just doesn't matter. It knows where it's facing and counters for it. They're really good little bits of kit, and especially I think like doubly so. Someone who's not as not as mobile, they're an incredible option then, because you can still enjoy the night sky. Yeah, it's not going to be like carrying out a full rig or something like that. But if that's not on the cards for you anyway, then what does it matter even worrying about that kind of thing? Enjoy what you've got. You know what I mean? And it's a good thing that we have these smart telescopes now, because I mean, only just a few years ago, it wasn't an option. So I guess someone who was, had limited mobility, etc., aside from remoting into remote observatories and getting your data that way, you were stuffed, largely, pretty much, which isn't a nice thing, is it? That's my take on it, anyway. Yeah, it's good. Things are moving forward in the right direction for me, anyway, I think, with these things. I also have a Melee on my Edge, but the 6200 is a bit much in 1x1 mode for it. It's a bit of a drag in it, waiting for full frames to come in. How's it going, Chris? Yes, that was pretty much what last night looked like, actually. Baby action, beers. In fact, it was homebrew wine. Yeah, I brewed my own wine, and we were partaking in that like a like a bunch of fish. Good times. Claudio, love the vids. Thank you very much, Claudio. Do you do a what would you improve in my image kind of thing, or not really? I do, mate, yes. Some of my recent videos, I've offered the opportunity for you to have your images critiqued, and even do so using a known data set too, so that we're all starting from the same starting point. And then I can see how far you've taken the data, what you've done with it, what's different, knowing from my own perspective what challenges that data presented. And so I do that as part of like processing tutorials with challenges built in. The most recent one, you've got time to have a go at this if you want, is the Horsehead Challenge tutorial. It's just up on my channel like 2 videos ago, something like that. So you can download the data that I provide for you, process it, post the image on your Instagram if you have one, and link using the hashtag Horsehead Challenge, and then I'll be able to find it in a future video where I'm going to do a critique session, and where we're going to look at everybody's image, work through them one by one, and build, you know, like that kind of thing. Try and offer constructive criticisms where possible, or just congratulations if someone's just done a, you know, better job than me, kind of thing. It is what it is. We get a lot of that. It's good. It's a good opportunity for people to learn, though, I think, and then to see their results being appreciated and critiqued on the fly. Another classic Luke tangent response, I realise. So we're probably back to 15 minutes. Oh God. But yeah, that's hopefully answers that for you, Claudio. If you're still here, mate. Usual SLA isn't super accurate. Form 4 is extremely accurate, though. Yeah, man. I actually purchased it for work-related stuff, but I try and use it for everything. I don't blame you. Yeah, I don't blame you. Practical Astronomy Show asks Ben. Unfortunately, mate, I won't be able to make it this year. It would just be a bit of a stretch going that far with the young one in tow. He's okay with short car journeys, but I think much longer than 20 minutes, he'd probably be pretty pissed off with us by that point. But yeah, I hope you all have a cracking time though, guys, if you are going. Stooge UK, missed so many clear nights with my EQ M35 Pro. I dropped it, luckily no scope attached. Oh my God, but broken all big box with the deck cables go out. Ugh. That's rough, mate. Sorry to hear it. Damn. Hopefully that gets sorted out for you quickly, eh? I have a Bamboo X1. Yeah, cracking printers, aren't there? Use it often. Also have a MakerBot Method X. Always broken for some reason or another, despite how much it costed. Sorry to hear that, mate. I pretty much just leapfrogged straight from my first 3D printer, an Ender 3, non-pro, just an Ender 3, which taught me a lot about printers, of course, because you had to build the whole thing up from a bloody box of parts like Meccano. But yeah, it was a good printer, just slow, aren't they? That's all, and there's better options now. Then a leapfrog straight from that to like say 3 Bamboos right now. I've got P1S's. That's what I've opted for on mine. I would have loved 3 X1 carbons as well, but it just didn't seem like it would have been worth the extra money. Do you know what I mean? Probably would have been in the end, but I think ultimately the quality of those P1s is right up there with the X1 though, from what I've seen online. Let's see. Definitely should use station mode. Oh, sorry, we're nearly there. Oh no, how far behind am I? Quick guys, keep chatting, he's catching up. No. Oh, sorry. Definitely should use station mode ASA. Yep, good advice. Although my ASA Plus, this Wi-Fi is pretty good on that, I would say, just on its own. I've used Astroberry Project at all. I haven't used it at all, Thomas. No, zero experience, mate. Zero. Cupra Al. Hey there. How's it going, mate? Used your link for the S30 from FLO. Oh, that's really kind of you, mate. Thank you very much indeed for that. Thinking to give me support like that. That's really, really kind. Waiting for it now. Hope you're well. First time in your chat. Welcome, indeed, to the chat. It's lovely to have you here, and I really, really hope you see Star come soon and that you can get enjoying it. You know what I mean? I think there is some targets you can have some fun with during Galaxy season, the main ones, but I think you're going to be eating good come summer, when you start to get, hopefully, if you're Northern Hemisphere, of course, ordering from FLO, I imagine. When you start seeing the Cygnus Cross rise, there's going to be a flood of targets you're going to be able to have some fun with that S30. Yeah, thank you again, mate. Turned an old ASA into an Astroberry server. Okay. Decent dithering doesn't dithering help with that. If you're asking about the walking noise thing that someone mentioned up above, does indeed, mate. Random Error 1 does C-Star live streams. Good to know. People answering, others, back to 15 minutes. Ben says, wanted to set them up in place of my Canon lenses that I showed you last year. Okay. That's been a great setup. Only a couple of my Canon lenses aren't soft. Got you, mate. Yeah. Got a USB hat on my Raspberry Pi. So now I've got 8 USB ports. Jesus Christ, that's awesome. I'm never going to catch you, am I, at this rate? I'm so sorry. I'm a bit slow getting through stuff. I just like to try. I feel like if someone took the time to contact me with a question, I need to at least try to answer everybody back as much as I can. Anders, hello from Tromsø, 69 degrees north, Norway. Good night here. Well, very nice of you to join in. Anders, tusen takk, my friend, min venn. Jeg snakker litt norsk. Veldig litt norsk. Dumpedalic Observatory. You'll never catch up. Yeah, I won't, mate. 75 to 300 f5.6 out of the box. Yeah. Sharpest about f8. That's also good advice. Full frame lens. Quite often these full frame lenses lose a lot of sharpness when put into APS-C bodies. Yes, mate. Unloved one. Hi, Luke. How's it going, mate? Got the ASI 585 MC Pro that you told me a couple of weeks ago to go for. Oh, brilliant. And you could tell me when I could get some clear skies also. Oh, man. Well, I feel like I've missold you there, because I should have told you that it comes with clouds in the box when you purchase one of those. Yeah. Hopefully not too long, mate? As weather warms up, we should start to see some more high pressure coming over us and get some better weather soon. Thanks, because you just reminded to add. I forgot to add dither into my sequence. Just make sure you got the latest drivers. Got you, sorry. Yeah, Andy, you to mention that to him, Pim. We are catching up. Look at this. We're almost there. Exciting times. Could we almost be having a live stream in a minute? You never know. No pass for me then. Oh, damn, dude. Derry Murphy, have the ASI and locked into the ecosystem, but it's very good. It is good, mate, innit? Yeah. But the station mode is temperamental. Maybe I haven't said it right. Thanks for the advice on the prints. We'll look into that. Brilliant stuff, mate. I wish I could help with that. I don't really know. Only issues I ever had with my ASIs was when the power I was giving them was able to drop below like 12 volts. I find the work really well at like 12.8 and actually a little bit above sometimes as well. Let's just see. Where am I? I keep losing where I'm at. Station mode, kind of a pain. Got ya. Love my SQA55. Can leak light with that silly rotator. Really? Says Mike. I'm just trying to think now. Is your rotator like fully clamped up, or what? That's odd. I've had no light leaks with mine, mate, and I've definitely been kicking around near it with a headlamp on and stuff like that before. But yeah, that's interesting. If you can find out what's going on there, I'd love to hear. Need to find the fixed IP address of your router. Manual connect. Okay, sorry. QHY Starmaster. Ooh, we're nearly there. 5-minute lead time. Wow. It's like being in a live chat queue, you know, for getting some customer service help or something. Your messages are important to us. We currently have a waiting time. QHY Starmaster, got you. Yeah, seen they're on AliExpress. I didn't realise they were able to be bought yet, Titch. Fair enough. Maybe it's only in Chinese language. Potentially, yeah. It might not be like available in other regional languages yet. You gonna try EQ mode in your C-Star when you can? Yes, indeedy, mate. I think I shall, Ben. Yeah, it's a good shout, that. I want to try and do a little bit more smart telescope content at some point, as I know that a heck of a lot of people have those things, and I think in terms of just thinking of my channel from a business perspective, it would make good sense, wouldn't it? You know what I mean? To try to serve that side of things as well, as much as I possibly could. So yeah, it's something I really do want to look at. Hello from China. How's it going, Lubo? Nice to see you in another live stream, mate. Your VPN sucks recently, ExpressVPN, so I may drop out unexpectedly. I'm sorry to hear that, mate. What filters do you use on M81? Asks Pim. Pim Vashuren. I hopefully get your name right. Just UV IR cut. That's all, mate. No light pollution filters, etc. Just UV IR. And I'll let integration time do the rest. Hopefully we'll be able to pull out a good bit of that HA from the Cigar Galaxy. That should be interesting to see. I've always wondered if ZWO sells their gear in the country for less than globally. Probably. Yeah, I would imagine so. Yes, I got the live stream. I'm so glad you're excited for it, mate. That's awesome. Well, thank you for joining in. Whoever tries to do EKO mode on a C-Star has a better chance of succeeding. The more north you live. Okay, less strain for the gears. Yeah, fair enough. Ender 3 was a great one to start on. Agreed, mate. Yeah, it taught me a lot about printing. It really, really did. I've been able to forget all of it, though, since getting the bamboo. They kind of just work. I've got a tip for a target for your long telescope. LOTR5, Lord of the Rings 5. I've actually modified my bamboo with an internal heater for a heated chamber, which is required for the proper layer adhesion with engineer grade filaments. Wow. I've never really had an issue, to be honest. I mean, I imagine my chamber temperature gets reasonably high if I'm printing with the door closed. But most stuff I print is not that sensitive. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's mainly PETG these days is what I like to use. So I print with just like the door cracked a little bit to stop heat creep in there. And I've also got some risers that I printed for the top glass panel, which stops like, you know, hot air getting caught in there and causing extruder clogs and things like that. But yeah. Gideon Sanders, I have a Redcat 51 with the colour camera. I would like to buy that Altair Astro filter combo pack with the HA03S2. That comes in 4nm and 6nm variants. The 6nm is a fair bit cheaper. Your advice? Depends how much that bit cheaper matters to you, to be honest, mate. If there's no other changes between the 4 and the 6nm other than the bandpass width, then it's down to just whatever suits your budget best. Both are going to be pretty darn good. The 4nm should be better at blocking out, you know, extraneous sources, light pollution, etc. Well, that said, plenty of beautiful images have been taken with filters wider than 6nm too, so it's not like you should just write that one off. So it's a tough one. It's a pretty tough one, to be honest, mate. I think if the 6nm suits your budget better, then just go for that. But if the 4nm is offering other upgrades as well as a narrower bandpass, you know, like better control of halos or something like that, I don't know if it's something that filter suffers from, then that could be worth saving for. Use other cameras in the form factor of ASIR, or if it sounds better than it actually is. Okay. Just joined up, says the failed astronomer. That is a super wide field of view. What is the setup you're using today? So we're just looking at a live stack, currently 105 minutes, 21 5-minute frames of the Rosette Nebula and the Cone and Foxfur Nebula in the interconnecting nebulous region. Taken through my Ascar SQA55, paired it with a full frame, one-shot color, cooled camera from Player One, their Zeus C Pro. And the whole thing is being shot through a dual narrowband filter from them, which is hydrogen alpha, oxygen 3 only, of course. And yeah, pretty good. Pretty good rig, I would say. I've got other rigs running as well, but we're really mainly just focusing on this. We're really just chatting, to be honest, I think, at this point. But yeah, it's nice to have some astronomy going on in the background, I think. I will have to go shortly, unfortunately. I told Chloe I'd only be a couple of hours, but I've gone overboard a little bit. But yeah, Let's just see. I'm nearly there, I think, guys, aren't I? Snacka som är fast, Luke. I don't know, mate. Appreciate you addressing personally. Yeah, thank you, mate. Much love right back at you, Badui. Mr. Marius, right there. ASI is definitely more stable. It is very stable. I've got to admit, I've never really had crashes and things like that with ASI Air these days. It's super duper mature. Let's just say, and then Pim saying it's crashed on him a lot. I assume we were talking about ASI Air there. That's crazy. Just running Nina on my 2 mini PCs, hotspot, small router, works perfect. Good to hear, mate. Only 5-minute lead time. Sorry about that. Yeah, we are getting there. What do you think is better for mosaics, Nina or Sharpcap? Nina, undoubtedly, mate. Yeah, you can plan your mosaics much better in there. The amount of overlap you want, things like that. It's, yeah, by far and away better. But if you are going to get into mosaics, I'm going to strongly recommend, if you don't already know about it, going for AstroPixel processor to do your stacking. I don't think anything stacks mosaics as good as APP does. It's got like a multi-band, if I could talk, sorry, multi-band blending technique that you can employ for mosaiced images, and it really softens the transitions till it just looks like one huge coherent image. It's pretty impressive, to be honest. That's what I reckon. Let's just see. I could have sworn I'm missing some people's chat. I'm so sorry if I am. If I've missed what you've said, by the way, just if you wouldn't mind just resending, and I will hopefully get to you in just a moment. Less than 5 minutes, current wait time. Yeah, part of the ASI stability down to closed ecosystem. Absolutely, mate. Yeah, if you're only developing the software for, gear that you've made yourselves, then yeah, it's probably going to be robust. Come on, Luke, you've got this. I have, Anna. I've so got this. We're doing it. We'll come. Oh my god. Love the channel. Hey, thank you, Enlavas. Gonna try my new Warp Astro WD20 tonight, and there's ZWO80 PHQ. Thanks for the review on that scope. You're more than welcome, mate. It's actually out there tonight, taking some shots. I'm enjoying it the most right now, I'll be honest with you, with the reducer, the FF80 reducer. Pairs really nice, opens up the field of view that little bit, and speeds it up a touch as well, you know what I mean? So if you don't have the reducer, and you're looking at future things you might want to, mess around with on your rig, I can recommend it, to be honest, mate, already. I've yet to publish a review for it, but yeah, gut feeling. And all the signs I've got so far point to it being good. Anybody in search of clear skies, come to the countryside of northeast China. 95% of nights, clear skies. That's crazy, mate. My question now is if my wife misses me or is happy for me not being at home. Only you can answer that one. Or rather, only your wife can answer that one, actually, mate. Andy. How's it going, Andy? Greetings, Luke. Clear skies to all of you, to you and all of you. Fellow astrophotographers. Sharp haircut, Luke. Thank you, mate. Kind of to say. Let's just see. The answer is yes. 900 euros or 600 euros. Are we referring to the filter we were talking about up there? Ah, yeah, got ya. Ooh. Well, both are expensive, mate, to be honest. Yeah, both are pretty expensive. Is that your only options? Because I feel like that's a heck of a lot of money, you know what I mean, for a filter. You may buy it and end up being unhappy. You might love it, which I would bloody hope so, at 600 euros even. But you might buy it and not actually be that happy. I don't know if you remember, initially there was like just one dual narrowband / tri-narrowband filter that came out like donkeys years ago now. And I could have sworn it were up around about the $1,000 mark or something, and now we've got filters a few years on costing a couple of £100 that, yeah, beat it kind of thing. So stuff moves at such a pace, an investment of that magnitude might not be the play. I don't know. maybe someone's got the filter and can offer better advice on it. Tommy, how's it going? Great Luke. Hi Luke, great weather in the UK. Great Luke, okay. Great weather in the UK, have a lot of fun. It's not bad, mate, today. We've had experienced a huge warm-up over the past few days as well. We saw, I think, low double digits today, maybe, about 11 degrees or something. Outdoor temperature. And some clear skies. So, yeah, can't complain, mate. Thank you. Special days in China. The vendors will have special discounts, most famously 11/11, Skyrim Day. For those of you in the know, most holiday seasons have some kind of special offer. Also, ZWO some specials when they introduce new stuff. Okay. Fair enough. Let all following comments be thanks and goodbyes. Let's let him go. Thumbs up the video too, lads. Oh, it's very kind of you to say, Nugsy. Thank you, mate. Yeah, it's been a good one, guys, and I can't believe I've caught up as well. That's absolutely magic. The crashing was about Astrophotography. Got you, Pim. Yeah, sorry, mate. I totally misinterpreted what you were talking about there. So you will never sleep at this rate. It's and you know, I nearly made a joke about, you know, kids keeping me awake anyway. He's not actually. He sleeps really good now. So I can't even complain there. It's good. Life's good at the minute. Pretty happy chappy, all things considered. And having a wonderful night, you know, again, 2 good nights on the trot, actually. Like I say, I spent last night with some mates around at my house. Tonight, with all you mates here, chilling out, doing what we all love. It's been good. And thank you again, by the way. Big thank you for the support tonight. It's been absolutely incredible. Really, 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 really appreciate it. I do. So thank you. Thank you. Stack my individual panels in PixInsight, but then mosaic stitching is done in APP. Honestly, I only bought APP because of the mosaic stitching. Okay, fair enough. The first top pick, nice one. Mine really knows what he's talking about. Yeah, Brayfolds is cool, man. I like to say, if you haven't tried it, perhaps have a go at side by side of just plugging all your files into APP and letting it do its thing entirely. It's pretty darn good. I will say it is. We are just about there, I guess. So yeah. No business point for ZWO to develop compatibility for over hundreds of cameras and make sure they always work. Not even for free, but for a loss, where it would deter the customer from buying ZWO. I know what you mean. There isn't that much incentive from a business perspective, is there, from them opening up the ASI Air, because they just sell a shit ton of ASI Airs. And then the sales of their own cameras and associated stuff would drop, wouldn't it? So I can see why they'd want to keep it closed, aside from just the obvious, like it's much easier to develop for, I imagine, whenever it's closed. But yeah, there are, fortunately, like I say, there are other options coming up, but they just aren't there yet. Hopefully there will be shortly though. Pete says, another excellent stream, Luke. Thanks you. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you very much indeed, Pete. Tripping up. Jesus Christ, I'm tripping up over my own tongue now. Can't talk. Amazing how he keeps up with all these different conversations. I'm not sure I do anymore, to be honest, mate. It's all a mess. Main problem isn't the ASI Air, it's the tool for them to sell their main product, cameras. Yeah. True enough, mate. Got some good nights this week. Oof. Great live, thanks. Yeah, thanks very much indeed, guys. It's been a, you know, what a lovely session. We've had a good time. We've got some stuff done. We've captured some more data that we can hopefully play around with in an upcoming live, not live stream, but tutorial and things like that. Hopefully we'll have some more targets picked out for the next live stream, and we can have some more fun together doing that kind of thing. But yeah, overall, great success. I've had a good time. Hopefully you guys have as well. And yeah, I think that's about it for me. I'd best go do dad stuff now, you know what I mean? It's time for that. So, right, look after yourselves, guys. Thank you for joining in. And I will see you in a future video or live stream or goodness knows what will come first. I'm just continuing playing catch up every single day now. So yeah, it is what it is. Thanks for understanding. And yeah, it's been a good one. Have a nice evening, guys, or day, or whatever it is, whatever you are. I'm wishing you all the best. Thanks for joining in. Cliss, guys.